now as we get going live for this World Club Challenge, and we are on. Hey guys, how you going? So down BKRsport, we are live as the World Club Challenge will be getting underway between the Hull KR and Brisbane Broncos. This is the World Club Challenge that we see every year. Well, we're meant to see every year anyway. We don't necessarily always get to see it every single year. But with that being said, we have seen the last the last couple of years post-COVID, and it's been great to see. You know, the Super League, they've been putting up a fight, and they've been putting up a bit of a show to, put better name, put a better rapport on their league, because obviously it is quite insulted quite a bit, the Super League, comparatively to the NRL, right? And, previous World Club challenges, the Panthers just didn't seem to be able to get over the line. In 2024, we saw the Wigan Warriors win 16-12 over the Penrith Panthers, and I was right. It's we've actually only seen one since COVID, mind you. Back in 2020, we did see the Roosters beat St Helens 20-12, so at least we saw one NRL team get the job done there. And the Roosters also beat the Wigan Warriors back in 2019, 20 points to 8. We go to 2018, where the World Club Challenge actually had multiple teams play in this one, where the Storm played the Leeds Rhinos and they won 38-4. Now, that was 2017 grand final winner, so Melbourne Storm. I would assume it would be Leeds Rhinos, so that would have been the main game of the three. But the Dragons also beat Hull FC 24-18, and the Rabbitohs beat Wigan Warriors 18-8. So a couple of clean sweeps, well, a big clean sweep by Australia in 2018. Back in 2017, this is when it was a yearly thing. We saw the Wolves win 27-18 over the Brisbane Broncos, who are playing today, obviously. And we saw the Wigan Warriors. This was the main game of the two, where they won 22-6 over the Cronulla Sharkies. You go back to 2016, where it would have been the Cowboys who were the winners from previous year of 2015 in the NRL. The Cowboys won 38-4 over the Rhinos, absolutely slapped, and the Broncos played that year as well and beat Wigan Warriors 42-12, and the Roosters beat St Helens 34-12. The Roosters seem like the absolute primetime team when it comes to World Club challenges, that's for sure. To go back to 2015, previous winners would have been the Rabbitohs. They won 38-0 to St Helens, absolute slap up. Broncos were there again. They've played against the Wigan Warriors, beat them 14-12, and another clean sweep from Australia, where the St George Illawarra Dragons won 18-10 over the Warrington Wolves. And the last one here that it's got on the website, obviously there's many more, but 2014, year after the Roosters won 36-14 over the Wigan Warriors. So when it comes to World Club challenges, the team that you want to see from an Australian perspective is definitely the Sydney Roosters. And the Brisbane Broncos, in their recent years, they've been playing in these competition games. They're not the actual World Club Challenge, because they had won previously in those games that they did feature in over the last 10 years. The Broncos won quite a bit as well, so you definitely enjoy the thought that maybe Australia is actually going to assert their dominance and come in today with the right kind of mindset that we always doubt when it comes to the World Club Challenge, right? The World Club Challenge is something that Australians don't really think about, they don't really care about, but I feel like because the Panthers have failed on the last couple of times, it's been twice. I don't know why it's got only one time. It's only got 2024, because the Panthers definitely played twice, one being in England where they lost and one being at home where they lost. They've got the one where they lost in England 16-12, but they don't have the one that I think they lost 18-12 in Penrith. A couple of years back, I can't remember, but either way, the point matter is that the Panthers haven't put up a too good of a showing in recent years, and the Super League have been absolutely making some ground there. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes tonight, because the Brisbane Broncos are a very attacking team. They are a very strong team. All the NRL teams found this out, especially in the second half. Don't necessarily expect a great deal from them in the first half, that's for sure. They're not a first half team by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know if they're going to be the exact same team in 2026 as they were in 2025, but if they are the same team, then Hull, you got to go out to a massive lead. You got to go out to a 30-0 lead at half time, otherwise you got jack chance of winning this game. But if you do go out to a 30-0 lead at half time, the Broncos, they still know how to come back from those kind of scores. They come out of nowhere, mate. The Storm, they had to come back on them in the preliminary final. The Storm in the grand final, they had to come back on. In the preliminary final, they had to come back against the Panthers to obviously end their four-peat. And then you also go to the Raiders game where the Kent Raiders came first in the minor premiership, and the Broncos had to come back on them to get over the line. And we just saw it throughout that back half of the season where the Broncos just found a way. They just kept grinding, kept pushing, and were just able to be that little bit too much more electric team when it came to the second half. So that's why you would definitely fancy them tonight. But let's get through these two team lineups here. Obviously, guys, get the chat. Let us know what you're thinking in regards to this one. It is a very early start for me. It's 2 a.m. here in Vietnam. The game starts at 2:30 a.m., which is in 25 minutes time. So do me a favour, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and get into the chat and let us know what you're thinking. But Hull KR, they are the big underdogs today. They're 5-1, whilst the Brisbane Broncos are $1.18 favourites. This is at MKM Stadium in Hull. Now the fullback for Hull KR is Arthur Morg, with the wingers being Tom Davies and Joe Burgess. Centres of Petahiku, you would know from his NRL days, and also Oliver Gildart, who played a little bit for the Dolphins as well. You go to the 5'8", Mikey Lewis. Controversial whether he should be here or not for a deliberate trip, but at the end of the day, he is here and was able to get through that potential ban, which we're not surprised with, considering that when it comes to bans and when it comes to big games, the big players usually do get away from their consequences. 7 is Tyrone May, obviously related to the May brothers. He was at the Penrith Panthers. And you go to the front row forwards of Suaso Su. Used to be Raiders, no? Was it Canberra Raiders that Suaso Su was, or was it West Tigers? I'm not too sure, but Suaso Su, I feel like maybe Raiders. I could be wrong. Let me know in the chat. Tom Mamone as well is also a front rower. Jez Litton is the number 9, with the back rowers being Dean Hadley and James Batchelor. The 13 is Elliot Minchella, who is the captain. Go to the interchange with Sam Luckley, Jai Whitbread, who actually used to play for the Broncos yonkers ago. Also the Gold Coast Titans as well there. Reece Martin, you know him from his Papua New Guinea, and Carl Lawton, who... That would be Carl Lawton from Manly and Titans, no? I think so. I think that is probably the Carl Lawton from Manly and Titans, to be honest with you, with Jack Brown as the 18th man replacement. Now, obviously, most Australians don't know anything about the Super League. They don't know anything. Everyone has an opinion about the Super League, but most Australians don't know absolutely anything about the Super League. So in 2025, Hull KR finished in first position with 22 wins, 5 losses for a points for... I don't know what's got GF, but anyway, points for was 786 with the points against 292. So, wow, they scored a lot of points in comparison to their teams. They were absolutely putting the sword past their teams. That doesn't seem right, though. Like, that's full on. That doesn't seem right. That's a lot. 786 to 292 with a points differential of plus minus 494. If you compare that with, say, the NRL and what we have as our points differential at the end of every season, you're seeing the best teams with a points differential of plus 212 or plus 148. The Raiders finished with a 654 points for and 506 points against for 148, and the Storm in second has 671 points for, 459 points against with a 212 points differential. And then you compare that with the Super League, where there's four teams here with plus 300, and there's 2 teams with plus 400 on the differential. Again, the highest by a clear margin was the Storm with 212. That's outrageous. Hull KR had a plus minus of 494. The Wigan Warriors had a plus minus of 461. Leeds Rhinos in 4th had a plus minus of 300. And you got a plus minus here for St Helens in 5th of 363. Even Wakefield Trinity in 6th had a plus minus of 230. And like I said, the Storm plus minus of 212 in second position. That's just crazy to me. It's crazy. If you go and have a look at Salford, oh, this is crazy. If you look at Salford in 12th position, they had 234 points scored, 1,129 points against. That is insane, dude. That is insane. That's minus 895 on that points differential. What even is that, Salford? The Knights, so for all the Rugby League NRL fans out there, if you think the Knights were bad, they had a minus 300 points differential. Minus 300. They had 638 points put past them and scored 338. Minus 300 for them. Salford had minus 895. Even the Castleford Tigers had minus 419. The Huddersfield Giants had minus 391. Catalyst Dragons minus 227. Warrington Wolves minus 161. Just just insane work there, and that is the reason. That right there is the peak behind why NRL fans criticise Super League comparatively to their own, because the gap is is so far more significant, right? Because if you go across that 2025 NRL season, for a long portion of the year, we were sitting there on these streams. We stream every single rugby league game here. We're sitting there, and everyone was like, "Who's actually going to win this comp?" You know, it didn't look like it was guaranteed with the Storm. The Raiders, they showed their susceptibilities, and that came really to fruition in the finals. The Bulldogs weren't convincing. The Broncos weren't convincing for large points of last year. You know, the Sharks weren't convincing. Don't even start me on how unconvincing the Warriors were. You know, the Panthers, they'd start off the season so poorly that no one really believed in them for the second half of the season. It was only the Broncos having that comeback which stopped them for a sixth grand final in a row, sorry. Then you had the Dolphins at points doing well. You had Manly at points doing well. It's just the gap is so much less significant in the NRL comparatively to the Super League. And look, Hull, obviously, they came over the top and they won their grand final against the Wigan Warriors 24-6. That was pretty comprehensive. They beat St Helens as well, 20-12. Beat the Wolves 28-20. But they did come up against Wakefield Trinity, I think just before the finals, where they lost 28-12. I'd love to see if that was a full-strength lineup or not, to be completely honest with you. I would love to see that, but 28-12 was the score to Wakefield Trinity, who did end up coming in sixth position there, but they beat the other top three around them. Overall, you know, they just scored a stupid amount of points last year. They scored a stupid amount of points. 786 is just crazy to mine. So Hull, look, they deserve to be here. Let's see what they do against a big-time opposition, the Brisbane Broncos, who did have just a stellar amount of form in the back half of last year. Now let's look at the Brisbane Broncos team lineup, which we do obviously know a lot more about. Reece Walsh is the fullback, with the wingers being Desai Kotapani and Dean Mariner. Centres of Tony Staggs and Gehamat Shibasaki. 5'8" Ezra Mam, with Adam Reynolds as the halfback. He's the captain. Then the front row forwards are Corey Jensen and Payne Haas. Now, Hakeem Haas, but his name isn't officially changed just yet. Number 9 is Corey Pakes, and in the back row is Jack Gosiewski and Jordan Ricky. 13 of Patrick Carrigan, with the interchange of Ben Hunt, Xavier Wellison, Ben Talty, and Orbelix Tawa. 18th man replacement is Grant Anderson, and Michael Maguire as the coach. Interesting, Orbelix Tawa there on the bench, didn't feature much at all for the Bronx last year. This is a star-studded lineup, man. The biggest question mark, I guess, around them is, can they continue this form that they showed in the back half of last season? We know last year the Brisbane Broncos were absolutely diabolical for the first half of the year. They really, really struggled overall. They were not fantastic by any means. You know, Reece Walsh was showing some really poor signs of football. It wasn't working out for him at all. Then there was injuries with the team, and the Brisbane Broncos just were really struggling to get anything done at any stage. But then they just clicked. I don't know what it was, but they just clicked in that second half and absolutely dominated. But you can't necessarily just guarantee that form is going to transition and translate straight into this year, because again, they started off so poorly, came home like a train. And is that what their plan is? Is that what their goal is again? Or are they going to try and do it a different way this year? You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Are you still looking for that stamina and conditioning and the preparation to all sort out your second half of the season? Or is there something that's changed where they're going to try and have it more as a consistency across the year? I don't know, but there is that potential little bit of concern that the Broncos aren't necessarily ready for this kind of matchup. They're coming in off that absolutely massive high of winning the NRL. And then it just doesn't work out here in England, where we know the play the ball is so slow. You know, when we talk about our halftime stats for the games in a normal NRL game, you're saying that the play the ball speed is 3.2 and below is extremely fast. 3.21 to 3.39 is fast. 3.4 to 3.59 is average. 3.6 to 3.79 is slow, and then 3.8 to 4 seconds is extremely slow. While in England, their play the ball speeds are like 4.2, 4.3, sometimes 4.5. That's 4.5 potential seconds of a play the ball speed. Again, in the NRL, we've been seeing a lot more teams recently situated around the 2.93. In England, it's about 4.3 to 4.5 on a consistent basis. When you go and have a look at that Australia versus England game in the Ashes series that we just watched, where Australia won 3-0, but you go and have a look at those play the ball speeds, and they struggled. They struggled quite a lot in regards to that speed because it was just well and truly off the pace of what you will see in the NRL. And today, the referee is, I believe, Liam Moore, who doesn't exactly have a fantastic rapport with Australian fans because we've seen some controversial games under his leadership there as a referee. But apparently he is the referee today. It doesn't actually have it here on the NRL.com one. Who is the referee for the World Club Challenge? Who is the referee for the World Club Challenge? It is Liam Moore. Yeah, lovely. Lovely. That's what you like to see, just without the like part. But unfortunately, that is what we're seeing. So look, this Broncos team has so much ability to whack in all different ways. Adam Reynolds said this is his last year playing. We all know that Hakeem Haas is off to the South Sydney Rabbitohs for next year, so it's his last year with the Broncos. This team is going to go through a major reshuffle once 2026 does finish up. So it's going to be kind of like one of those let's just go and win it for the last year for a couple of these lads kind of deal. Again, does that mean they go and win it? Not necessarily, but there is going to be that notion in behind them. And then in regards to salary caps and all this type of stuff, it's going to be interesting to see how the Broncos do transition to 2027 rather than 2026 in a lot of ways. I am going to predict the Broncos here to win this game. I think that you just kind of have to. If the English team goes and wins this game, well done to them. These are smaller fields, and again, it's going to be officiated like a Super League game, which is not what the Brisbane Broncos are used to. Actually, that does really question me in regards to my tip, because the Broncos need a fast-paced game. The Broncos, for them to play their electric style footy, they do really need a fast-paced game, and they're probably just not going to get that today. They're probably just not going to get the fast-paced, just electric style that they're so used to. I'm still going to predict the Broncos, but just keep an eye on that play the ball speed. Just keep an eye on it, because that is probably going to be the detriment to this Broncos team, if there is going to be a detriment. If there is going to be something, it probably is going to be that play the ball speed. But alright guys, let's get into the chat. Let me know your thoughts in regards to what you're expecting here today. Obviously hit that like button, subscribe if you are new around here. We are live for every single game of Rugby League here on the channel, and even though it is a ridiculous... Okay, we're back. Sorry, I was having a drink. For some reason, you have to... the Watch NRL doesn't seem to have the game on, so I've had to use a VPN, but the VPN always, for some reason, screws up here in Vietnam, and I haven't been able to use my VPN cleanly over here, so there might have been some haywire, moments there while you're watching the stream. I'm going to see if it's on Watch NRL. Otherwise, I will just go. Across and try and find, a stream through a VIP box TV or something like that. Because for some reason they just don't seem to have it here on Watch NRL, but they do have it on KO, so I just don't understand why it wouldn't be available here, but yeah, it's available there, because VPN for some reason just sucks here, and Watch NRL is great, but apparently it just doesn't seem to be on for now. So if somebody does know it's going to be on there, then great, but for the time being, I can't seem to find it. But the game starts in 10 minutes, we've still got plenty of time to sort this out. Like, I do know exactly where I can watch it regardless, but the footage might be a lot more cleaner now that we're off of the VPN. Okay. Because NRL 360 right now, they're in, or Fox League, they're in Vegas, because obviously the Vegas games are on next week. So maybe it might be good to go. All right, we'll sort it out for now. Lee Marshall, Sky Sport New Zealand, you suck. Yeah, I don't understand why we're seeing a difficulty to watch this game. You know, in Australia, it's on KO at the very least, but we did see the Ashes series, the 3-game Ashes series between Australia and England. That wasn't available. On Watch NRL as well. Was that available on KO? I think it might have been. No, I think that one was available on KO, actually. I do. I think that one was, but it's weird how it's a lot more difficult to watch these games over in the Super League in comparison to what you would normally get. Lit Dark Fights as Broncos getting pumped by 40. Yeah, look, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but I do question the play the ball speed, and I do question the ability of the Broncos to adapt to the play the ball speed. That is my biggest question mark for them. Aspect says, "G'day, 2:30 for you. Geez, you're up early. Who you got in try scorers, Mr. Streamer?" Look, I'm gonna take the Broncos because I don't want to be. Look. I do feel like there's a world Hull KR win this on the basis of that play the ball speed. The fact that it's going to be cold over there, it's going to be completely different conditions, and it's going to be a volatile crowd in a lot of ways. I'm going to say if there's going to be a try score in the back line here for. I don't know much about the Super League in a lot of ways, man, so it's hard to give you a try score prediction here for Hull. But I'll go with who's probably the most susceptible defensively in this back line from the Broncos. You're probably looking at maybe like a Josiah Katapani there. So you're probably maybe looking at a Joe Burgess or an Oliver Gildart. I'm going to go with, only on the basis that I know his name more of Oliver Gildart, I'm going to go him as a try scorer for Hull. I'm going to go him as a try scorer, and then, let me just make sure that that's all sweet. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to go Oliver Gildart as a try scorer for Hull in the back line, and then in regards to the forward pack, geez, again, I'm not going to really have too much of an idea here. I'll just have to take a shot at the dark. I'll throw a dart at a blindfolded dart, and I'll go with James Batchelor. I've no idea, mate. I've no idea in regards to their full pack. For the Brisbane Broncos, you have to look at a guy like Reece Walsh so that he's a good chance of scoring here today, regardless of what you throw at him. If he's got that same form that we saw from last year, then Reece Walsh should be getting over the white line. And then in regards to the forwards, can they contain Payne Haas? Can they contain Payne Haas? I just don't know. So I'm probably going to look at a bit of Payne Haas there for that one. I just think that he's the best front rower in the game. He's going to go down as one of the best front rowers of all time. And I don't know, like the English do know how to make it gritty. They do know how to fight hard in regards to. Just turning it into a grind, which Payne Haas, will relish, but will he be able to score from it? I don't know. At the end of the day, it's going to be a real tough battle there for the English to stop a guy of the same quality level that is Payne Haas. So I'll go Reece Walsh and Payne Haas there for the Bronx, which could be obvious selections, but at the end of the day, certainly. Scale says, I'm from Hull. I don't support KR or Broncos, but I'm hoping the Broncos win. I'm a Hull FC supporter. Well, isn't there two teams in Hull? Hull Rugby League. I think that is there two teams in Hull? Yeah, Hull FC. But they're no good, are they? Are Hull FC any good? Because you've got Hull KR and you've got Hull FC. I don't know if they're any good though. I don't really hear much about them, to be fair. I don't hear a hell of a lot about them, but I'm pretty certain that there are two teams there. Somehow Lawton's still only 30. I know, it's crazy, bro. It is actually crazy in regards to Carl Lawton still cracking on doing his thing. It feels like it's been forever, mate. It does. It feels like it's been forever. I can't seem to get this Hull FC website up. League table. If for some reason it's not letting me get this Hull FC website up, maybe if I go over there. Okay, so it wasn't letting me get the league table up, but it will get. I want to just see, because that's surely a big rivalry, no? John Grace, let's go to Broncos. Can you guys just confirm for me in the chat that our stream is working smoothly now? Can you guys just make sure in the chat, let me know that the stream is working smoothly. We are all good to go, and there's no real hiccups anymore. Because I know we obviously had that earlier one, but okay, sweet it is. Okay, nice. Because we had that earlier hiccup with the VPN, but now I'm not. Now I'm not on the old VPN. Okay, so they don't have like an easy just draw or oh, here we go. Okay, so they are in the Super League. They are actually equal first right now, but I think there's only been one game of your Super League, no? Switch the hub off. Well, yeah, look, maybe I'll have to. No, it's just because that VPN, mate. Steven says, it'll be interesting to see if this is going to be decided by a referee. Well, it wouldn't be surprising, mate. Let's be honest. It wouldn't be surprising. The old English referees. It's going to be differently officiate a game, like Australians will claim, a lot of the Aussies will come out and say like, "Oh, this is bullshit, this is ridiculous," and they'll complain about it, but they won't realize that the rules are different. The rules are actually genuinely different in England in comparison to what we are used to in Australia. That is what it is. Whilst people don't like it, at the end of the day, it is the truth. The game is played very differently over there. The game is played much slower over there, and it is a problem. It is a problem for Australian teams, which is why you do see, a lot of the time, you do see these Super League teams giving it a crack, especially in recent years. Josh Yates says, Hull FC are a bigger club than Hull KR, and the Hull Derby and Saints Wigan are the two biggest rivalries. Well, there you go. Yeah, see, we this is the time slot that most of your English games are on, mate. So it's very difficult for Australians to keep up with what's going on. It's very difficult for Australians to keep up and understand everything about the Super League, because it's on at like 5:30 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. A lot of the time it'll be on at a stupid time of 1:30 in the morning or 2:30, which is what I'm up at now in Vietnam here, right? So it's very difficult for anyone to actually have any idea of what actually goes on over there. But yeah, I didn't know that Hull FC was a bigger club than Hull KR. Seb says that this is being played at a Hull FC ground as it's bigger than Hull KR. Are there two? Like, do they play at the same ground? Do they have two different grounds there? Aspect says the dumbest thing I've seen is a reporter asking Bevan French, who is Indigenous man, if he'll play for England. He politely turned it down, but geez, I've seen plenty dumber things than that. Oh, there we go. Mana says, the only strength of game, bro, you can't watch it here in New Zealand. Due to broadcasting restrictions, man, I can't show you the game footage, but I will commentate it when I've got it up live and it's running smoothly. When it's live and running smoothly, we will be all good to go, mate. But unfortunately, due to broadcasting restrictions, no, I cannot show you. Separate stadiums, Hull KO Stadium is tiny. Okay, well, there you go. Oh, Hull KR's stadium is tiny. So why is Hull FC like a successful team, or is Hull KR the more successful team, or what's made their rise so significant? Because like out of nowhere, obviously, it seems like maybe they've gone and won the league. Lee Marsh says, I have KO subscription in Oz, but it won't work in New Zealand because of my VPN. VPN is causing me so many problems right now, man. I'm going to try and actually put the VPN back on to go across here to be able to watch it on KO, because I can watch it on KO. It just sometimes can cause a few problems for my stream here. There's actually no problem in regards to usually watching the game, but if I try and put it back on, I'm going to do that, guys. So give me one moment here. It may cut the stream just very briefly here as I get this working again. Like these World Club Challenge streams too, because you do learn a lot more about it. I was going to stream the Super League this year because I am in Asia, but I thought it was going to be a much better time slot, but it actually ends up being a worse time slot than in Australia, like a worse. And we stream every single NRL game here and all the rugby league and whatnot. We got two pre-season games actually later on today, here on Friday in Australia. But yeah, I was going to stream some Super League just because I want to understand it a lot more and get a lot more understanding behind it. But it's just at an awful time slot, mate. It's a horrific time slot. So we're on live now on KO. Okay, so KO's working sweetly. FC rent Hull's football ground. It's not theirs. Oh, there you go. JK says, so I'm born and raised in Townsville, Queensland, but mum is from Hull, and that's where I live now. Cowboys fan from the start, but Hull KR supporter, as my mum's hometown team. I'm torn up the Cows. Well, why would you be torn? You can support Hull and you can support the Cows. They're not playing each other. You have a big rivalry as a Cows supporter with the Broncos, but, I guess that you were born and raised in Townsville, so you do have that Australian connection there for wanting the Australian team to win. At the end of the day, from my perspective, right, I think this is a bit of a win-win in a lot of ways for most of Australians, because a lot of Australians don't like the Broncos due to their success or whatever reason you want, but they don't like the Broncos. So if the Broncos go and lose this game, a lot of Australia will be like, ha. But if Broncos go and win this game, they'll be like, well, we got one over England. So this is kind of a really content game from a neutral fan perspective in the NRL and in Australia, where you sit back and you just go, who kind of cares? Who kind of cares who wins this? We just want to see a good game, and hopefully it's fairly officiated. There was a very controversial call a couple of years back in Wigan between Panthers and the Wigan Warriors, and I didn't like that. At the end of the day, if the Panthers lose fair and square, great, but there was a super controversial call late in that game. So I hope this game is fairly adjudicated, and we get a good game of rugby league here, and we fire up for a big year for both the Super League and the NRL. Rivington says the ruck in Super League is much quicker this year. Is it? Oh, cool. Do you know what I don't know if you'll know the specific stat for this, but I know it's usually around that 4.3, 4.5 on the seconds. In Australia, we're seeing teams' trajectory more so around the 2.9 to 3.2 is kind of where you're seeing the extremely fast category, but they're all kind of trajectory going towards that, right? So that's a whole full second in as a gap. A whole full second, but again, I don't know about it. So if it's adjusted this year and it is changing, fantastic. Aspect says you're streaming the FIFA World Cup. We'll talk about that much later, bro. Anyway, the game is about to start here, guys. So do me a favour, hit that like button and subscribe if you love rugby league. We are here for every single game, and we've got 2 preseason games later on today, which we're getting involved in. But the Hull KR will kick this ball off, and just like got a punt against Paddy Carrigan, he'll get this ball to the 15. Let me just update this live score so that you can see that below me as we're moving and grooving through this. There we go. So the live score is there and yeah, there we go. I don't know why the clock is kind of doing it every 6 seconds or so. But anyway, so third tackle for the Brisbane Broncos. They're going to be 38 metres away here from the line. I guess he's so used to St. Helens. They had the Reds. That's where my brain got confused this early. Slapper says, Pommy refs make ours look good. Oh, I don't know if it's ever possible to make Ashley Klein look good, champion. I don't know if it's ever possible to make Ashley Klein look like a great referee. He has a good game every now and then, but for the most part, I don't know if it's possible. So third tackle here for Hull. This is actually, okay, well, Rivington, I do agree with you already. I can see that they're playing the ball, but then again, this is from the Broncos' perspective. Wait till you see from the Hull KR perspective. So the Broncos caught this ball hit the 20. This will tell me. Because from the Broncos' perspective, they're used to getting up very, very quickly here. Oh, Corey Jensen's down. God bless him. Corey Jensen, there's a biffo. It's slap him up, slap him up, slap him up. There's a biffo. There's a biffo. There's a biffo here, son. Corey Jensen is down to the ground here. God bless him, man. I hope he's okay. Josh Yates says, hopefully it'll be like Saints versus Penrith. It was a good game. Are you talking about the one that was in Penrith and it was like 18-12? It was a good game. Penrith just weren't good enough. But Penrith have an awful record when it comes to World Club challenges. He won't be back. Corey Jensen, I don't think he'll be back here, man. You can see something's really wrong. I don't really know what's happened there because he's coming with a normal tackle technique. His head hasn't gone directly into the body to make him have this kind of reaction. But as he's gone in, and then Reece Walsh didn't like something here. What? With Minchella. An elbow on the head of Dean Marin or something like that? I don't know what's just happened there for Reece Walsh to blow up at Minchella. Exactly. Cows number 1 and Hull KR number 2. Just very ironic that they have partnered up. Just awesome and coincidental. Cows and Hull KR. Ironic that they've partnered up. What? It's your Hull KR? Oh, it's a penalty here to the Brisbane Broncos. It's a penalty. Hull KR and Cows have partnered up? As in like a sister club kind of deal? Like, what do you mean they've partnered up? Sam says, Josh, be mindful you are probably 30-40 seconds ahead so you don't get timed out. Yeah, so, guys, because I am obviously streaming, please wait until you hear me commentate it. There are people in this chat who can't watch the game that use me as a commentator. So please don't comment in the chat something big that happens until you hear me commentate it, just so it doesn't ruin it for other people. Oh, they have partnered up. Fair enough, Jake. I didn't know anything about that. So first tackle with the Broncos at the halfway point. They go out to the left, and that's good spacing. Good spacing. Now 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. Okay, so 4 seconds. Still slow, but 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 3 point, probably about 5, 3.5 or so on the seconds count there. 1, 2, Yeah, probably about 3 again. So this is a very different play, the ball speed. There was one already that was 4 seconds though. Fifth tackle now, 13 metres out from the line. They'll go out to the right through Ben Hunt. Adam Reynolds, short kick ball. Taken down 2 metres out. And it's going to be Hull KR getting the ball at their own 3. Good attack and set there from the Broncos, though. Good attack and set that set it up. I feel like if I'm Hull KR right now, I do go back to your traditional routes of holding the tackle longer. Unless this is like an adjustment of the rules. Unless this is an adjustment of the rules, English Super League fans, please let us know in the chat. Has your rules been adjusted to try and encourage this faster play the ball speed? Or is this just a trajectory on how the game is being played? Because if it's part of the rules, then I get it. If it's a trajectory, I would go back to your traditional routes here and slow the play down because the Broncos are known for wanting that quick, pacey slap up. Watch the Vegas match coming up. I'm live for every rugby league game, man. I'll definitely be live at the Vegas games. We've got 2 preseason games today, and then I think 3 preseason games on tomorrow, and then got a preseason game on Sunday and whatnot. And then we've got our full season predictions video coming out on Monday. We've got a draft video coming out for you guys on Tuesday. We've also got the Cricket World Cup that's going on right now that will be live for all the finals. Good to see Zimbabwe get a massive win against Sri Lanka last night. Huge. Makes you feel better as an Aussie. Oh, and there's something that's happened here. I think there's a knock-on for the Broncos. They were showing us some dude in the crowd. They were showing us someone in the crowd, not the actual game on the broadcast. But there's going to be a mistake here for the Broncos. So Tony Staggs gets off with a bad start here. And Hull are going to be on the attack. That's a bad drop, man. No pressure whatsoever. And it's just dropped it completely cold. What's he doing? What's he doing? Rugby Paul just says it's absolutely freezing at pitch level, or maybe that's the reason why. Hull weather, 3 degrees and rainy. That would be awful weather for Brisbane. That would be awful weather for the Broncos. I'm telling you, there would not be a complete surprise. Like you can see how cold it is. It would not be a complete surprise if we saw Hull win this on the basis that the Broncos aren't going to like the conditions and potentially the slow play the ball speed. So 20 metres out from the line, first tackle for Hull. Their first attack of the game. They go out to the right, Mikey Lewis, and it's going to be Minchello who's going to be 20 metres away, 6 again. Hull weather is as grim as it gets in the UK. You know about Hull weather. So out to the right, now they're 15 metres away, second tackle for Hull. Second tackle, they're 14 metres out. Broncos have one of the best in their own 20 defense. Defense on the line for the Broncos is some of the best in the league. They're going to kick this ball through, and it's going to be a dropout. A dropout here from the Broncos to Hull. Yeah, they're very susceptible on the long range, the Broncos. The long range is not great defensively for Brisbane, but the short range defensively on their line, they are one of the best teams in the NRL, if not the best teams on their line defense in the game. It's just a good test for KR. Broncos have this Queensland forever. We'll see, mate. We'll see. You know, people thought Penrith would get an easy win over St Helens. People thought Penrith would get an easy win over Wigan. Wigan one was controversial, but the St Helens one wasn't. Lawrence says, go, the mighty Broncos. Well, it's 0-0 here, and the Hull KR on the attack again. They're 13 metres out. It was a very interesting kick because that was on third tackle. For when they got that repeat set. They go out to the right. Here they come. They're 15 metres away from the line, and now it's going to be Batchelor taking down 10 metres out. 10 metres out. Third tackle. Jez Litton, I don't know what that was. That was an awful little play. He just ran straight into the line and lost 3 metres. Fourth tackle, 9 metres away. Let's see this goal line defence. And Mikey Lewis gets locked down really easily, 7 metres away from the line. Fifth tackle. Just to clarify, English fans, Mikey Lewis is your big time player, right? They kick that ball through. It's going to be a try for Hull. It's going to be a try for Hull out of nowhere. Hull have just dinked that in underneath, and it's going to be right under the post. They're going to score. Adam Reynolds is complaining about something here, but Hull have scored. Hull have scored, and it's 4-0 here with a kick to come. Hello, Broncos. What are you doing? Adam Reynolds is complaining about something, though. Dirty Rovers scumbags already. Dirty Rovers? Is that like a thing that, because so they're called the Robins, but do you guys call them the Rovers, do you? As like an insult? It's a good kick there from Mikey Lou. Ooh. I don't see a problem with it. I don't think there's anything wrong there, but Adam Reynolds was complaining about something. What's he complaining about? Oh, he's dropped it and it's hit it. Hold on. How's his kick come through? I think that's okay, but like it's like he dropped. It's like he just dropped the ball. I don't think that was really. That was a really weird kick. That was a really really weird kick. Yeah, it's not a knock on because his intention is to kick, but he's dropped that. His intention is to kick. He's dropped the ball. It's an awkward kick. It's an awful play that's ended up being a brilliant play. Kick wasn't clean at all. No, that was an awful play that ended up being a brilliant play. Anyway, 4-0 with the kick to come. Yeah, dropped it onto his knee. You can't call that a knock on, but it's just like, oh, the Broncos would be fuming that they've given that one up because how has that come off? How has that come off? East Hull KR forever. There you go. Dropped it onto his knee. So 6-0 here to Hull KR. 8 minutes into the game. Well, we knew the Broncos wouldn't have it all their way. We knew they wouldn't have it all their way. And right now it is freezing cold. It's always dark and gloomy and rainy in England. We know that. And the Brisbane Broncos, they have been hit with an uppercut first of all. So 32 minutes left here in the first half. Good to see it sold out there, completely sold out. And Hull brings it out here to the 10 to the 5. Sorry, to the 5. Not a good start for the Broncos. Mate, it's only 8 minutes in. You know, it's completely fine. I'm sure we all know that the English teams do have more intention behind this than Australian teams, but the Broncos have actually emphasised. They've really emphasised in the media before this game that they do care about this format. They do care about winning this game, which is something the Panthers never did. The Panthers would admittedly just say, we don't really give a shit about this, but we're going to play it anyway because we have to. It's a requirement. They would come out in the media and say that. The Broncos have come out and re-emphasised that their care factor to win it and to bring it back to Australia kind of deal. So that's why you should see a lot more emphasis in this game from the Broncos here. However, this is their first preseason game. You've got to remember that. The Brisbane Broncos have not played a preseason game to this point. This is their glorified preseason game. So if the Broncos get this ball at 13, if the Broncos win this game, you know, it's pretty monumental. For them, it's like winning a very glorified preseason game where they haven't played before. They come and get this. It's a bigger context game, but it's still preseason for them. Whilst Hull, they've had their preseason, plus I think they've only had the one game in the Super League so far, so they've had a little bit of a time, and they're at home, right? So the advantages are here with the English side. With that being said, Australians do claim that their league is so significantly better, so it shouldn't really matter. Fifth tackle here with the Broncos, and they're going to be at the halfway point. 30 minutes to go here the first half, guys. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here. They kick the ball underneath here for Reece Walsh, and Hull get the ball at 20. Australia's Forces Panthers cared, just couldn't win. Sure, I'm not going to disagree with you, mate. I don't think... look, actually, you know what? I will disagree with you. I don't think they did. I don't think they did. I think that when they realised they were going to lose, then they started to care. But Panthers are very ego-driven. Same with the Brisbane Broncos, for example. There are teams that win that aren't necessarily ego-driven in Australia. But the Panthers, they were saying before the games, literally before them, that they didn't care about the result. They were calling it a glorified preseason game, which shows you their intention, and it shows you that they're already behind the mark before the game even starts. Fifth tackle, they put that ball up into the air, and Reece Walsh is going to drop that ball. Oh yeah, this isn't looking great for the Broncos already. Not looking great for this Brisbane Broncos. They do not look like they're ready for this. You've seen Tony Staggs drop a ball completely just off the bounce. Nothing. No pressure whatsoever. And now you've seen Reece Walsh just completely drop that one too. You can tell it's cold and it's struggling right now. Australia's Full says, saying you don't care does not mean shit. Before the game it does. If it was after the game, then it doesn't mean shit. But if you're saying before the game, it absolutely does. I completely disagree with you. If they're going out and saying in the media that they don't care about this game before the game even starts, when they're meant to be promoting the game, then you can obviously tell the intention behind a team in regards to how much they're going to be putting in emphasis-wise into the game comparatively to what they're going to put into other games. They would never come out, and Payne Haas is limping right now, God bless him. They would never come out and say that about the grand final. They'd never come out and say that about a regular season game. They'd never come out and say that about anything, but yet they came out and said that on multiple occasions beforehand. So no, I completely disagree with you. The intention is clear before the game even starts. But if it comes out afterwards, when you've lost the game, and then it comes out afterwards, then yes, that doesn't mean shit. 100%. So first tackle now for Hull, and they're going to be 3 metres away here from the line second tackle. Diamond says, why discussing Penrith when they aren't playing? Because they are a part of Rugby League, and they are a part of a big context behind this game as well. The World Club Challenge in recent years has always been Panthers, and they've lost both of the games in recent years. So there is a lot of context, and there is a lot of discussion around that. It's not just simply about this game, but at the end of the day, if we need to talk about it, we will talk about it. Second tackle now for Hull. They're going to be 8 metres away here from the line. Jez Litton, if you would like to change the conversation, put up a different question for a different conversation. Hull's going to get this offload away. And good ball, good run through the line, but they'll be taken down to the 5, third tackle. Third tackle, 5 metres out. And now they'll be at 3 metres away from the line, 4 tackle. 12 minutes into the game here, first half. Hull might have a chance here to take a 12-0 lead. Oh, I think he scored, I think this is 10-0. He has scored 10-0. 10-0 to Hull KR. It is 10-0, and the Broncos, they are really struggling. But then again, what do we say? With the Brisbane Broncos, they are not a first-half team. They struggle. Tom Amone and Elliot Minchella have scored so far. So, to put it really bluntly, the Broncos are a shit first-half team. But they are an unbelievable second-half team. Is it going to translate here in a game against the English? I don't know. But the Broncos, this is exactly what they did last year. They suck in first halves, man, but they're just absolute killer in second halves. They're absolute killers in second halves. Sirex says, is the Super League and NRL rules the same, or is there any differences? They're pretty much the same, man. They're just played differently. They're pretty much the same. They're pretty much the same overall. Yeah, not a good start for the Broncos, but this is what we're used to with them. We are very used to this with them. So 10-0, 13 minutes in. JK says, bro, get a job with Channel 9 or Fox League. You got the passion, enthusiasm, and most importantly, the voice, lad. Appreciate you, man. Now, I love what we do here, man. We've built a great community here. You're not seeing an insane amount of we have a lot of regulars here on the chat already, but we have a lot of regulars and an insane community behind the NRL and whatnot, and we have a good time with that. If you're doing that kind of work with the big broadcasters, one, you're limited in regards to what you can say, and it's more done an agenda and a narrative kind of path, but also secondly, it's 12-0 here. Secondly, you lose that interaction with the live chat, which is what we love here. We're able to talk to you guys, watch the game, have our own investment, have our laugh, our banter, our shit talk and whatnot, and also talk about the analytics and what's going on whilst watching the game. So you lose that interaction point of it. So, no, that's what I love about it. James says, how would I watch live on YouTube? You won't be able to watch it on YouTube, man. Due to broadcasting restrictions, it's illegal for you to watch on YouTube. So 12-0, and Hull will kick this ball off into the in goal. Seb says, so Broncos will get this ball off to the Hull in goal. Must mean York the best team in the world at the moment. Yeah, I did hear that York beat Hull last week. I did hear that. Like I said, for Australian neutral perspectives, right, this is a win-win for Australians, where not for the Broncos fans, but for outside of Broncos fans, most people hate the Broncos, and if they were to lose this game, they'd be like, if they were to win this game, they'd be like, well, at least Australia won. But if they lose this game, they're just like, they're laughing at the Broncos, right? There's a win-win situation for a lot of Australia right now. So England, you don't have, like, people didn't want Panthers to win. People just didn't want the Panthers to win at all, right? Because they hated the way the Panthers fans would be towards, well, to be fair, you'd support what the Panthers fans were doing to other fans and what are their games, because that's very heavily on what English fans are like at games, right? First tackle of the Broncos at 40, but a lot of Australians didn't like it, so there was a clear disdain for the Panthers, whilst there's a bit of a 50-50 rapport here, but at the end of the day, most people would take solace in the Broncos losing as well. It's pretty clear-cut as a win-win situation for Australian fans right now. Fourth tackle for the Broncos, they'll be 45 metres away. Eric says he pixelated for a reason. No, sometimes it pixelates, man, because I'm on a VPN. I don't usually have to watch a VPN, but Broncos are away here, Broncos are away here, Broncos are away. They're at the 15, they're at the 10. Dane Mariner taken down, fifth tackle here. Just let me go through this tackle, and then I'll tell you why. 10 metres away, they go out to the right. And Ezra Mam has one of the worst kicks of your life, and Hull will be taken down to the 8. So sometimes it'll pixelate because I'm on a VPN, and usually I'm able to watch it on watchnrl.com. because I pay for a subscription even internationally. But this game isn't on WatchNRL.com, weirdly enough. So I have to use VPN to watch it on KO. Third tackle. Sometimes it will cut out. Sometimes it will have like blurry stuff on the screen. This is not usually what it's like on the channel. When I have to use a VPN, it is, unfortunately. So fourth tackle now for Hull. They're 25 metres away here from their own line. They go to the left-hand side, and they'll be taken down to the 40 on fifth tackle. Broncos are struggling here to get up to speed with this game. Love the bands. Glad I found you, lad. Appreciate you, Jay. So fifth tackle, they kick it down to Reece Walsh. Do you have rugby league, like an NRL team? I keep on saying rugby league in general. Oh, Reece Walsh slapped in a tackle at 25. If it's someone that a lot of Australians will back you slapping in a tackle, it's going to be Reece Beacey. He loves it when I call him that. Tell him to unblock me on Insta. Second tackle. Second tackle for the Broncos at the 30. The lines are always weird when you're looking at the screen too in England. Just be careful of the second half, though, Hull. Don't think that you've won this game, even if you're up 24-0. Even if you're up 18-0. Oh, good offload there. Corey Pakes to Paddy Carrigan, and Carrigan's going to be 40 metres away from the line here. Fourth tackle. Corey Pakes go out to the left. Ezra Mam, great run through the line. He'll be taken down at 20 metres away from the line. Fifth tackle. 18 minutes in. Corey Pakes, can we see a kicking game here, Broncos? It's been awful so far. Nice kick. Will be dropout. Dropout coming up. First little positive bit of play here for the Brisbane Broncos. Delphina says, Kia ora from New Zealand. Will they show highlights on YouTube? Highlights will come up on YouTube after the game, yeah, for sure, on NRL or Super League or Fox Sports or whatever. Yeah, there'll be highlights of the game for sure, but live footage of the game won't be on YouTube, no. Got the pinger screen happening, still here. As long as you can still hear me, that's the main thing. So Mike Lewis to drop this one out. Like I said, guys, if you see me go pixelated, as long as you can hear me, that's the main thing. It's just the VPN sometimes makes it all over the shop. Oh, they've dropped the ball backwards here, the Broncos. So they'll probably get this ball off to the 50 when they would have had it at the 40. Xavier Willison juggling that ball. It's going to be cold here for these boys, man. 3 degrees is... You wouldn't even wish it upon your worst enemy in Australia. 3 degrees, you'd have to go to, like, coldest point of Canberra to get that. or Tasmania. So, third tackle for the Broncos. They're 15 metres away, close to a 4 past that. Very, very difficult. 15 metres away. Get it off to Ezra Mam, then to Paddy Carrigan. And Carrigan runs this ball into the line. They lost a couple of metres there still. Corey Pakes, I don't mind how Corey Pakes is playing right now. No Benny Hunt, but I don't mind it. And Josiah Katapani, he's going to step, and then he's going to step again. He's going to run a line, and he's going to be 3 metres away from the line. Jeez, that was very, very close. Fifth tackle, Corey Pakes. He's going to go for a little scoot himself, and as I said that I liked what Corey Pakes was doing, I'm going to retract that statement because that was stupid. So Hull will get the ball here 2 metres away from their own line. Anarosa says Broncos have to win. Broncos don't have to do shit. Broncos don't have to do nothing. English Super League, they always have something to prove when this matchup comes up. 20 minutes gone in the first half, 20 minutes to go of the first half. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. But the Super League always has something to prove here. The Super League, this is a well understood thought process from both countries, is that the NRL is a better product than the Super League, right? I don't think that there is an argument. If you'd like to argue it, please use the chat. I don't think there is an argument there. That doesn't mean that they're not professional players. That doesn't mean that they can't get up and perform to the biggest level. And that doesn't mean that in one exhibition game like this they can't get a win. I've never said that. I don't ever think that the Super League is a kiddie league. Reece Walsh slapped at the 10. I don't think it's a kiddie league whatsoever. I do think the product is very different. And oh my gosh, the Broncos have played so awfully here. It's a knock on. At the Tony Staggs, please take him off the field. Take him off the field, bro. PC, I said this before. Why is it the Roosters always manage to win this game, but everyone else struggles? Great point. It's a fantastic point, mate. It's a great question. With that being said, though, it's only been a really new problem for Australian teams compared to an old problem. The 2010s, Australia pretty much won every matchup with like Roosters and whatnot, but also when you saw the NRL going up against other Super League teams, you saw the NRL team win. It's only a very new phenomenon, so let's not think it's a permanent thing, but It's a great question why the Roosters always get it done, but the Panthers struggle and the Broncos are currently struggling. However, the Broncos do this. This is what they do in the NRL. The right-hand side, and Hull will be 8 minutes away from the line. They struggle first half and they kill second half. Yeah, Minicello and Amon have scored so far. So Hull now 15 minutes out. Apunga Media Creations why not take the WCC to Australian C? We saw that Panthers lost 18-12 to St Helens a couple of years back. Third tackle now 4 metres away from the line. Short ball into the line. Taken away, 3 metres out, 4 tackle, 18.5 minutes to go here the first half. They roll it out the back. They get it across here to Mikey Lewis. Tyrone May, here's a chance. Good tackle, very good tackle from Shibasaki. Let's see if he can keep his form up this year. And Tyrone May puts that ball... Oh, not a fantastic kick, but Jez Litton comes up with it. They kick the ball through, and they're going to score again here, Hull. They're going to score again. It's 16-0 with a kick to come. Broncos aren't up to this game right now. This is what we see, but you don't want to be giving up another one. If you give up another one and make this 24-0, I don't know if they can come back from that. I think they can come back from 18-0 down. I don't think they can come back from 24-0 down. They don't look even remotely up for this game in comparison. Josh says, it is a little embarrassing that the Super League have won this fixture more than NRL with a massive difference in wages. People disagree with it, but the intention just isn't there in comparison. The intention, there is so much to prove from an English perspective. Whilst there is nothing to prove really from an Australian perspective, I feel like there should be enough here for the Broncos to prove from an Australian perspective where they need to say, well, the Panthers have struggled. They've embarrassed the NRL a couple of years now. Well, surely we're going to turn up and we're going to, put a show on so that we can bring some, hype back behind Australia. Like, again, the products are so different. I don't feel like the Super League on a 27-round season is going to be able to compete with the NRL on the 27-round season, right, at all. But in these kind of games, there is just so much more for Hull to prove, to say that we are the big dogs here. We are a good league. We are professional players. We do have the ability to play rugby league amongst the best of them. Again, I don't think on a consistent basis they do it, but I do think, because you see that a lot of the NRL rejects will go over to the Super League, right? This is a big conversation that we do have. But there's just so much more here for why the English team should win. The Broncos shouldn't be allowing this for sure. And Australian teams shouldn't be allowing the embarrassment they've had these last couple of years. But at the end of the day, they clearly just don't have the same intention. The English teams just want to win it more. And that's why they win it. They want to win it more. And all power behind them, man. But this game isn't over yet. We're just going to wait to see how the Broncos, look in this second half. But if they give up another try here and make it 24-0, I don't know if they come back from that. They love a good comeback, but I don't think they come back from that. Super League's just a higher level. Well, that's not true, Seki. Come on, that's not true. But if you watch both the leagues, you're very, very well aware that that's not even remotely close to true. But with that being said, they do still have some really good talent. They do still have a lot better talent than people give them credit for. But let's not pretend, in regards to a 4-long season, that it's just at a higher level in the Super League. I'm sorry. Because when you see it when it comes to a World Cup, when you see it when it comes to these Australian players taking on the English players, we saw 3 games where Australia slapped them across the park in the 3 recent Ashes games. Even though it didn't look as good as you would have liked it to have been for Australia, they didn't dominate the games as much as you would have liked to. They still won the games really, really cleanly and really, really easily overall, right? That's the product and the difference that we're seeing here. It's just that these NRL teams, they just don't have the right intention behind it. They don't treat it properly. Whilst the English teams, they treat it properly. They treat it like they've got a point to prove. And I love that for them. I do. I love it. Energy is awesome behind the support of your team. Well, I don't support either of these teams. I actually hate the Broncos as a Titans fan. But with that being said, I can give you a neutral perspective as much as I possibly can. Seb says, Super League wouldn't have a top 8 team in NRL, I don't think, over a season. And that's coming from an English fan who is a Super League fan. I agree with you. But it's very difficult to say that when you're seeing these games on a consistent level over the last couple of years where the NRL teams are struggling. But again, if it's across a 27-round season, I don't see that happening. But in an exhibition match, in a one-off kind of match before the season starts, this is the first game for the Broncos. It's the prime time for an English team to get that scalp. It's the prime time. Super League is a great thing, though. I'm not disagreeing with that. I think the Super League is great to have, and it's great to see that the NRL is looking to try and make it a better product. And they're away here, and Huller away, back on the inside, and that's going to be 6 again here for Hull. They're 10 metres away from the line. Oh no, Broncos, they might get touched up here. They may get touched up here. They are not ready for this game whatsoever. The Broncos are not ready for this game whatsoever. They give this ball across, and they'll be taken down to the 10. The issue is people in the UK see this game each year and they think this is the standard. I agree, Seb. Exactly right. I 100% agree with that notion. Second tackle 5 metres away from the line. And it's 6 again. Brisbane, are you going to wake up here or what are you doing? It's 2 metres out here from the line. It's going to be first tackle. You can't just expect this team to come back in the second half. You just can't expect it. It's like the Bulldogs last year. You just can't expect the consistency in regards to comebacks. The Broncos did it, but you can't play a game where you're consistently chasing. And third tackle now. They're 2 metres away here from the line. Jez Litton gives that the back to Tyra May. Oh, he's lost the ball there. Yeah, he's lost the ball. It's a knock on there from... at least Staz gets a little bit of redemption there with a good tackle, but overall, Staz, you've got to improve greatly in this game because you've been awful so far. But no, that is true. You know, people look at this game and do think that it's a consistent basis. If you know your rugby league, you understand that Super League shouldn't be disrespected as much as it is. But this is not a consistent standard across what you would see across a 27-round season. That's why the comment that I saw before of the Super League is just a high level is just completely and utterly incorrect on so many different levels. And again, if you would like to disagree with me, explain why without just using a one-off match at the beginning, pre-season for the NRL teams, whilst we've just started the Super League season. They've had their pre-season and whatnot, right? And this isn't me trying to defend the NRL. This is just me trying to explain what we're actually watching here. First tackle here with the Broncos. They're 15 metres out. Eddie Bronco says, what is this ref? No, I won't accept it. God, he's probably wearing a Hull KO jersey. No, Eddie Broncos. Come on, bro. The Broncos just haven't been ready for this game so far. You know that this isn't an awful officiating game from Liam Moore so far. I will call out Liam Moore when I see it. I think that he is a bad ref a lot of the time. But with that being said, I don't think that this game has been anywhere near a problem from a referee standard. And the Broncos have come into this game like it's their first game of preseason, which, by the way, it is. Reece Walsh away here. He'll flick that ball out to the right. 20 metres out, 15 metres out, 10 metres away here from the line, and fifth tackle. They give it out. Reece Walsh puts the ball over the top. Here's the Bronx chance. He throws it back on the inside. Try time for the Broncos. Get him out, Shibasaki. That was nice from the Bronx. That was nice. Eric says, tackling like their lives a penalty, it hardly equates with the players aren't up for it. Well, they're down 18-0, mate, so that does equate to players aren't up for it. But with that being said, they've scored a nice try here, which is 18-4 with the kick to come. It didn't look like the players were up for it at all. That's why they were down 18-0. Tackling like their lives depend on it, well then why'd they give up 18 points so quickly? But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that the Broncos haven't been up for this game, but they will work into the game. The Broncos aren't up for the first half of pretty much any game. If you watch the 2025 NRL season, the Broncos are not up to the first half of pretty much any single game you watch them in. They weren't up to it in the Raiders first half, but they won that game. They weren't up to it in the Panthers first half, where they were down 14-0 at halftime. Guess what? They won that game. They weren't up to it with the Melbourne Storm game in the grand final, but they won that game. Just because I'm saying they're not up for it doesn't necessarily mean they can't work themselves into it. Right? There's a very big difference there. But Shibasaki will score in the corner. And this is going to be an interesting kick here from the sideline. Yeah, Katapati just got rid of the ball before he goes into touch, and Shibasaki puts it over. Oh, damn, I didn't realise that Shibasaki had the most tries to the Broncos last year. Interesting. That is interesting. Get how much Shibasaki with the most tries for the Brisbane Broncos in 2025. Eric, you're right. What are you going on about? I think he's trying to question and say that I'm hating on the Broncos for no reason when I'm not. If you watch the 2025 season, you're very well aware of what I'm actually saying. It's not like it's completely against the grain of how to expect to watch Brisbane Broncos games. So Adam Reynolds here from the sideline. Reynolds from the sideline, and he will miss the kick, so we'll say 18-4. 10 minutes to go here the first half, guys. Hit that like button and subscribe. 10 minutes to go. Other chance, the second try wasn't a try, was held up. English trying to cheat. I disagree with that. I thought I saw the ball hit the line myself. But I did think it, at first there was a potential of it, but then I thought I saw the ball touch the line. I'd like to get a replay of it. I'm not going to completely go against you, but I'd like to get a replay of it because I remember at the time it looked close, but I did feel like I saw the ball maybe touch the line. So Seb says, I'd love to see one of these games after both seasons have finished. I just don't know if that's a possibility. I think that in an ideal world, that's brilliant. In an ideal world, that's exactly what you want to see. But we've got the World Cup this year, for example. You know, we have the Pacific Cup, the Pacific Bowl. We have the all those kind of tournaments. You've got the party. You can't take away from these players wanting to go and get absolutely plastered. That's going to be a penalty to the Broncos at the 30. Okay, work into the game here, Bronx. Work into the game here. But, you know, they're going to party like crazy after winning the grand final and then probably for the week afterwards. You're taking away from their enjoyment of being able to achieve a life accolade and a life, you know, milestone. And to be able to enjoy that milestone by doing that and asking another game of them before they probably have to go to Australia and play for the World Cup team, or they have to go and play for England, or they have to go and play for New Zealand, or Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, Cook Islands and whatnot. So in an ideal world, you're right, but I just don't think it's viable, and I don't think the care factor would be there even more so. Second tackle now at the 20. Here come the Bronx. Adam Reynolds at the 15, now 10 metres away from the line. Nikon's a fool says 18-16 halftime score. You heard it here first. Be nice to see. Well, they're right here, the Bronx. They're right here. Can they get it over the line? Payne Haas. He gets the offload away. Oh, Corey Pakes. Pakes is going to be 3 metres away from the line. 4 tackle. 8 minutes to go here the first half. Ezra Mam comes in as a dummy half with Corey Pakes on with the ball. He goes himself. Oh, he's lost the ball. He's lost the ball there. Has he lost the ball? It's not a try. They're going to check to see if he's kept the ball here. The ref isn't the reason for this game, other channel. So 18-4. If I thought the referee was having a poor performance, I would say myself. He's offside there for sure. Oh, he's marker, don't worry. He definitely doesn't get the ball down, I don't think. I don't think he gets the ball down here. I don't think the ball comes down here at all. It's just whether he holds the ball or not, whether he loses it and holds the ball. Wrapping the ball up. He's reaching out. You're allowed to strip the ball in a try-scoring play. I think this will be Broncos' ball, though, still. Because he has, like, taken the ball away from him as he's trying to get the ball down. I don't think the ball comes down, but you can see that he takes the ball away from him. So it'll be a strip, but you're allowed to do that in a try-scoring play. Well, in Australia, I don't know if in England. Yeah, active scoring. Yeah, correct. So it'll be Broncos' ball, though. Yes. Yeah, it's in the active scoring try. That's fine. So it's obviously no try here. Broncos will retain the ball. Okay, we got there. We got there. Seb says it's not, but I think you would see a completely different game and you would show the NRL honest as half the people over here think. I think ideally you would like it in the middle of each season, but that's just never going to happen either. Oh, there's a play here for Hull that was indicating his pec there. God bless him. Hope he's all right. Payne Haas, he's not Hakeem yet, Nikon's a fool, but Payne Haas is at the Broncos until next year. So this is going to be first tackle over the Broncos, 3 metres away. They give it to Adam Reynolds. Oh, that is absolutely horrific from Brisbane. That is absolutely horrific from Brisbane. Other channel. I've got to be honest with you. I'm 100% sure you're a Broncos fan. From a neutral perspective, mate, I'll give you an opinion that the referee hasn't been at fault here for the Brisbane Broncos struggling. You should be used to this as a Broncos fan. This is exactly what you did all the way through last year, specifically the second half. But ultimately, this just hasn't been a fantastic performance from the Broncos so far. But when is your first half ever good? Your second half is the ones that kill it. I'm just saying, the referee hasn't been awful so far. If the referee makes a bad call, and on my opinion, I will tell you that I think that it's a bad call. But from my perspective right now, I don't think that Liam Moore is the reason. And I criticise Liam Moore quite a lot. I think that Liam Moore makes a lot of bad calls. I thought he was awful in one of the Ashes games of the 3-game series that we saw, even though Australia won, there'll be a penalty. I don't think you can argue with that penalty either. But, you know, we saw him referee one of the Ashes games, and he was absolutely just atrocious. He was atrocious in one of those Ashes games. But today he hasn't been bad. Just trying to join, lad, but I can't. This is what it says. While the requested product is available in Australia, you cannot purchase from the UK since your iTunes store account is set to outside Australia. Oh, that's weird. I don't know why. I don't know why it would do that there with the old YouTube. That's all good, bro. Second tackle now, 25 metres away. They don't allow Poms to join the channel, unfortunately. That's really, really strange. I don't understand that. Third tackle now at the 15. 6 minutes to go here in the first half. They go out to the right. And now they'll be taking 10 metres away from the line. Fourth tackle, 5.5 minutes to go the first half. If you keep it to this, Broncos, you still have a great opportunity to come back. But I just don't know if you get to 24-4. I don't know if you score 4. I don't know if you get 4 over the line. They go to the left, 10 metres away. Tyrone May kicks it through, and they've been doing them on those kicks, but Reece Welch will go to the ball to 3. Josh says he's an awful referee, but completely fine this game. I agree. I will call it out if I see it. I haven't seen it so far. Because I don't think that second try was as controversial as what's being alluded to there. I'm pretty certain I saw it. I would love to see a replay, but again, though, they'll show us a replay at halftime, I guess. So it's going to be 4 tackle for the Broncos at 15. And they'll kick this ball away on 4th. Big kick down. Do you guys have 2040? Do you guys have a 2040 in Super League, by the way? I'm not sure. 2040. In Australia, 2040 exists. That was a 2040. That's a 2040. That should be a 2040. Do you guys have... You do? Okay, that's a 2040 then. What? Well, that's just an incorrect call. That's a bad call. Right there. That is a bad call. You call that one out because that was a 2040. He said it was short. Well, there you go. There's the wrong call. That's a bad call because it clearly wasn't short. Because that should have been a 24 to the Brisbane Broncos just then. Which you never usually see, but that was a brilliant kick. That's weird, man. Anyway, so Hull is at the 30. Tanya says, why can't we see the game? Due to broadcasting restrictions to illegal, you're currently looking for an illegal stream. So you're surprised? 4th tackle at the 20. 3.5 minutes to go here the first half. They'll go Tyrone May at the 20. Mikey Lewis. And now they'll be taking down 5th tackle at the 15. No, it's going to be 5th tackle at 15. Is Brisbane not taking this game seriously? I think they're just not up for this game so far. But again, we saw this a lot last year. 5th tackle, and they're just going to get taken down at the 8. It's just going to be Broncos ball 8 metres out from their own line. It's not that they're not taking this game seriously. 1, it's 3 degrees there. 2, this is their first game of the year. And 3, they're just not working as the conditions at all. It's just not really happening for them. I don't think the play the ball speed is as slow as it used to be, which it would have been the biggest detriment to them. But at the end of the day, this is what they did through first halves last year. They're not a good first half team, the Broncos. How's that dog ref been? Really bad call just then where he missed a 20-40. Outside of that, I'm pretty fine with how Liam Moore's been so far. Out the back, good run. Reece Walsh away here, Reece Walsh, the 40, the 50, the 45. Reece Walsh steps around one, he's still going. He kicks that ball through. He's an idiot. Oh my gosh, he's an idiot. Oh my gosh, he's so good, but he can also be stupid, bro. He's so good, but he can also be so stupid. He makes an unbelievable play, Reece Walsh. Or you have like 5 players around you. Instead, you decide to kick the ball, and it goes so far deep it's landed in Zimbabwe. What are you doing, Reece? You've got 2 players on your outside that are completely home and hosed. It's a guaranteed try for the Brisbane Broncos. Had you just passed the ball to the right, instead you decide to kick the ball to Zimbabwe with Secunda Razar. Come on. Yeah, Seb says that was the best and worst of Reece there. That's Reece Walsh all day. That is exactly the kind of play that Reece Walsh is. Because you don't have a job, don't you? Eric says confused by the lines again. Maybe, Eric, to be honest with you. Maybe, but with that being said, I'm pretty certain the red line is a 40 everywhere, and the ball went past that red line. So unless you're saying that the lines are different to the NRL in regards to, that's a knock on Broncos. What are they going to call here? This is close. No, they're going to say first knock on is from Hull. So a minute to go here, Broncos. Can you get a try to make it a 10-point game? Yes, it was a good run, but they're not taking it seriously. I don't understand if you're taking a piss right now or not, Eric. I'm trying to figure out, because I've seen your last couple of comments. I don't know if you're trying to take the piss or whatnot. Incredible break and then a brain fart. Yeah, that is Reece Walsh with T. That kick could end up being a wicket for Australia tomorrow. Australia play today. Not that I want to stream it, but I'll be there for it. It's 36 seconds to go here the first half. Broncos, 30 seconds to try and score 1 try. If you can get a penalty, you'd love that just to make it a 2-score game rather than a 3-score game currently. Second tackle now at the 38. 15 seconds to go here first half. Out to the right, short side, into the line. Oh, he gets himself away. Corey Pakes, he's going to be 1 metre out, 5 seconds. You got to get up. 1 second to go. Out the back here, they're going to have numbers galore. They kick the ball out to the corner, and that was awful from the Broncos. Oh my gosh, they've blown multiple opportunities in that last 2 minutes, man. They just blew multiple opportunities in that last 2 minutes. The pressure has gotten to them in these last couple of minutes. The Reece Walsh play was incredible. It was incredible. Then he decides to kick the ball out to Zimbabwe, and then that situation there, I don't know what was happening from Reynolds for him to choose that. You've seen that all of the Hull KR players have come across and they've defended that side because they've had to, because Corey Pakes was coming in strong. The Broncos made that play and they're taking down 1 metre out. So all of them are over here. Why, when you can see that there's one Hull KR player out there, the fullback's coming across, why are you then kicking that ball up high when you can put the ball through the hands and you're probably going to have a 4-on-2 or a 3-on-1 kind of play? Instead, he kicks the ball and he allows the Hull player just to slap it away. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. But anyway, it's half time here, and it is 18-4. It is 18-4 to Hull. Let's go through some of these stats here to get a good read of how this game is going, guys. Do me a favour, hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new around here. Hull KR are 18, Broncos are 4. The 3 try scorers for the Hull is Tom Amone, Elliot Manchella and Joe Burgess with 3 from 3 on the conversions, whilst the Brisbane Broncos, Gerhard Shibasaki scored. They missed the conversion. Now, in regards to the stats that I'm about to read you guys, this is from an NRL perspective. This is the averages that we see in the NRL. I don't know what your averages are and your analytics are and your stats are. For me, this is reading from an NRL perspective, right? Possession-wise, 58% of the game has been with Hull KR, 42% for the Broncos. You need to even that out, because if you can get that up to 50-50, then it's going to be a very, very close game here, and we'll go down to the wire. Time of possession is 14 minutes 24 for the Hull KR, 10:23 for the Broncos. Oh, that's not great. That's 24. It's under 25 minutes. That's 24, 24:20, 24:40, 24:47. That's under the threshold of 25 minutes of actual gameplay. That's really disappointing here. You want to see overall a better aspect, a better amount of time possession here for both these teams, because under 25 minutes means we're not watching as much rugby league as we would like to be watching right now. Completion rate, 80% flat line. You need to hit at least 80% to be playing at a solid level. Hull KR, 90%. That's exceptional. That's very, very good. They're holding the ball. They're not dropping it. They're getting through their sets. You love to see it. 19 from 21. Whilst the Broncos, they're at 77%. So just behind the threshold. They're not quite there. It is underwhelming, unfortunately. But 14 from 18 is not awful. 77% is decent enough, but it's just still not quite there of that 80%. Then you go to the runs. It's a 30-run separator. 100 runs for Hull KR, 70 runs for the Broncos right now. 882 run meters for Hull, whilst it's 734 run meters for the Broncos. Now, this is very interesting because 10 meters on average per run is what you look for. That's a very good target to have. Hull KR are 118 meters behind the 10 meters on average per run that you would look for with 100 runs. The Broncos are 34 meters ahead of the 10 meters average per run. 70 for 734, 100 for 182. So for Hull, you're looking for at least having 1,000 meters here. For the Broncos, you're looking to at least have 700 meters here. Hull, 882, Broncos, 734. So if you were to try and give them the 10 meters on average per run, that is 300 meters to get them to that 100 runs, right? 70 to 100, give them the 300 meters to get them those extra 30 runs. They would be at 1,034, which would be about 140 meters in front of where Hull are if they had the same amount of ball. So based off of what we're seeing right now, Hull do have 150 more meters running the Broncos, but if you were to try and equal out this game to have a better perspective of what the Broncos are doing with the ball, you would see the Broncos are actually doing more in regards to the average set distance, and they're doing more in regards to the run meters. They're just not getting as much ball to be able to achieve as much. Do you understand what I'm saying? Post-contact meters is 258 for Hull, 218 for the Broncos. Only separated by 48, 38, 28, 40 post-contact meters as we speak. That's through 30 extra runs. So if you gave the extra 30 runs, the Broncos, again, that'd be well in advantage. So the Broncos are doing more in regards to the run meters there and the post-contact, just with a lot less ball. Then you go to the line breaks, 3-2 for the Broncos. Tackle breaks is 13-12, so not many missed tackles here. Average set distance is 42.04 for Hull and 40.81 for the Broncos. Now, 25 and under, you turn the stream off, it's pathetic. 25 to 30 is disgusting. 30 to 35 is underwhelming. 35 to 40 is hitting the marker. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic. And 50 plus is basically perfect. So both these teams are at a great level. The 40.81 and the 42.04 are both at a very similar trajectory. 2 meters in advantage there for Hull, but overall, they're both in the great category. And then you go to the average play the ball speed. Now, this is actually really great to see from an English perspective. Looking at this on an English side of things, this is really, really good to see. 3.41 seconds for them, 3.64 seconds for the Broncos. It's only 0.25 separating them. 3.2 and below is extremely fast. 3.21 to 3.39 is fast. 3.4 to 3.59 is average. 3.6 to 3.79 is slow. And 3.8 to 4 is extremely slow. And then the 4 plus is basically what we saw from the England international team in the recent Ashes series. So 3.41 is on the average category, and the 3.64 area is on the slow category, right, for the Broncos. So you can clearly see that it's still a slower game in England, but it's not as much as what we would normally see, right? But the advantage there is with Hull getting a quicker play the ball speed. Offloads 4-3 Broncos way. Forced dropouts is 1-0 Hull KR. And then we go down to the kick refusal, 83% for Hull, 50% for the Broncos. Defensively, this is interesting as well. So 85% and below is disgusting. You don't want to see it. 85% to 88% is underwhelming. 88% to 90% is hitting the marker. 90% and above is incredible. It's great stuff. 87.28% on the effective tackle percentage here for Hull KR. So they're underneath the 88, but they're above the 85. They are in the underwhelming category, but they're not too far off of the hitting the marker of 88. 151 tackles made for 12 missed tackles and 10 ineffective. Now, the average numbers in the NRL in a first half is 15 to 17 on the missed tackles. Right, so they're at 12. So they're 3 under the lowest of the averages there. That's very, very good. And the 10 ineffective tackles, an average is about 5 to 7. They're at 10, so they're 3 above the average in effective tackles in the NRL. So in the first half, 22 bad tackles with 151 tackles made, 87.28. You're not scoffing at it. It's not incredible, but the missed tackles is very limited. What's hurting them is the ineffective tackles. Then you go to the Brisbane Broncos at 90.91%. That is very good. That is a great amount of effective tackle percentage. 90% above is amazing. 180 tackles made for 13 missed tackles and 5 ineffective. So what you're seeing there is a similar amount of missed tackles. 13 for the Broncos, 12 for the for Hull KR, and the ineffective tackles is the separator here. 5 ineffective compared to 10 ineffective. That's on the ineffective. That is on the lower of the averages, whilst the missed tackles is 2 below the lowest of the missed tackles there. So overall, the Broncos have made 18 bad tackles in the first half, whilst Hull have made 22 bad tackles in the first half. It's just going to be about that possession battle in the second half. And then we go down to the negative play. This is a killer 2 for the Broncos. 5 errors for them, 2 errors for Hull. 3 and under is really good. To Hull are doing well there. 4-5 is average, 4-6 is average, and then 7 and above is awful. Broncos are on the average area, but this is what's really hurting them this game, and it's separating factor in regards to the amount of errors. 2-5 is wampa stomper. Penalties conceded though, 3-1 against Hull, and then ruck infringements is 3-0 against the Broncos. So overall, the Broncos aren't out of this game just yet. They're not. But they need to really sort out their errors. They need to, I don't know how they work themselves into this one in a lot of ways, but they need to equal this possession out. They can't sit themselves back and allow this game to come to them. They have to take the game by the scruff of the neck like they did in second halves through last season. We know how the Brisbane Broncos play. They're not a good first half team. They're a very, very good second half team. But this is their first game of 2026. This is the first game that the Brisbane Broncos are playing this year. So are they going to be ready for it? I don't know. We'll see how they go. But we'll get back into the chat. Obviously, thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see what you guys are saying. Jay says, love that the Broncos running out in North Yorkshire. Bold move. Someone better tell them this isn't Suncorp anymore. It's basically Game of Thrones territory now. Seb says the difference in that half, Broncos 3 drop balls ended up being 3 tries. Exactly. Those 5 errors compared to 2. Tony Staggs with that huge drop ball. Also, he made another drop ball. Both of those ended up being tries. Reece Walsh defensively, he's not been anywhere close. Reece Walsh dropped one of the balls there for a try as well. Reece Walsh hasn't been fantastic in regards to following through the kicks that are coming down that left-hand side. The Hull have been really targeting the left-hand defence, which is the right side defence of the Broncos, which is Dean, Mariner and Shibasaki, Is that Dean Mariner and Shibasaki? I'm thinking... No, it's Tony Staggs and Josiah Katapani. My bad. It's Josiah Katapani and Tony Staggs is who they've been targeting. And it's been working out a treat for them. It's been working out an absolute treat for them at the moment. The Kevin says the only stat that matters is the one on your screen, mate. It's half time. Andrew says, I wonder if Mikey Lewis will move to the NRL at some stage. He's a great player. Don't recommend it, bro. We never see it. I wouldn't recommend it. English halves never transition well into the Australian game besides George Williams. George Williams did well for Canberra. Outside of that, name me a good half in the last 10, 15 years that's translated well into the NRL game. I don't like it. We've seen guys like Sam Tompkins who are incredible in the Super League. He's one of the greatest Super League players, and he comes over to the Warriors and just was awful. Callum Watkins, great player in the Super League, but he comes across and just absolutely stinks it up for an awful Titans team. He was one of the worst players on the team at the time. We've seen Dan Sargentson, that guy's a clown. He's just disrespectful, though. I don't like him as an actual person a lot of the time. Just not a lot of the time, all the time. I don't like him as an actual person, the way that he treated his time over in Australia. But Dan Sargentson comes across and great player in the Super League, but doesn't necessarily come over here. Your forwards do, though. Your forwards absolutely translate. Your forwards are killer and crush, and we love to see it. Guys like Morgan Smithies and the likes, right? But with the back line, it's not usually the case. So I wouldn't back that in. Broncos are comeback kings. They are Sanka, but this is their first game of 2026. Are they ready for what they were known for last year in the second half of the season? The first half of the season, they were awful. The second half of the season, they were fantastic. So are they ready to be able to, are they keeping that momentum and continuity with their team, or are they having a fresh start here? As it says, problem is Hull being near perfect performance. Broncos not been awful. Handling errors costing them. Hull have been very good. Jay says, if Broncos lose this, we're blaming the Night King. Clearly conditions favour the undead. Yeah, no, exactly. Kev says, Hull KR have already played 3 games, 1 friendly and 1 against an amateur side in the Cup. I agree, but you've still had more games. I'm not using this. Bro, I don't give a shit if the Broncos lose this game. I'm not a Broncos fan, and a lot of Australia don't like Broncos. But at the end of the day, 3 games is better than no games. You know, they've had their couple of preseason games, plus they've had 1 regular season game, and that does play a factor. It does. You know, you can pretend it doesn't play a factor all you like, but, you know, whilst I will give credit to the England team here, and I will give credit to the English Super League and say well done in regards to turning up for this match, at the end of the day, the other factors still exist. They do exist, but it's not taking away from the fact that the English Super League team is doing well. They are doing well, but let's not pretend like other factors don't exist in regards to this game. Like, at the end of the day, this is considered a glorified preseason match for Australians. That doesn't mean that I want it to be seen that way. That doesn't mean that I want Australia to consider it that way. If my team was here, I'd want them to go and win, otherwise I'd be super disappointed. But a lot of people do treat it in a different way, and the players clearly do play in a different intention. So whilst you can try and claim like these other situations don't exist, and it doesn't matter, and it's just a pure, you know, best of this and the best of that, it's just simply not true. But with that being said, it's a great performance in the first half from Hull, and they deserve to be up 8-4 at half time. Gary says, good evening or morning, everyone. Finally a match I can watch in the evening here in London. Surprise halftime score? Sort of. I think that 18-4 is a surprise. I wasn't going to be surprised if it was like 12-4 or 12-0 to Hull, but 18-4, three tries against the Broncos, and they've been really poor on their handling and whatnot. Yeah, you know, it has been disappointing for them, but with that being said, they didn't look like they came into it ready to rock and roll immediately, and now we see if they can do what they did in the second half of what we saw in 2025. I tell you, bro, Adrian Morley was a beast, absolute beast, Adrian Morley. Yeah, for sure. Knowles is going to be unreal this year. Yeah, we'll see. Orphin says, does the ref know the 10 metres onside or not? Player running for the kick before the ball even happened. I'm still questioning the 2040. I'd still love to see if somebody could go back and have a look if that was a 2040, because I'm pretty certain it was. Broncos doing decently alright to be down 14 points. What? Garrison didn't recognise Reece Walsh without his locks. Yeah, he definitely does look different, that's for sure. Warriors, if the Broncos win, does that mean next World Club Challenge will be in Oz? I don't think that has anything to do with it, because England won that controversial one against the Panthers in Wigan. That was a controversial game, but they won that game. And the next game, I believe, was St. Helens in Penrith, so I don't believe so. Unless it was it St. Helens game first in Australia, and then it was in England? I can't remember. But half-time, it is 18-4, guys. We're just waiting for the second half to get going here. It is still super early for me. It's 3:30am for me right now in Wood. 3:30am, at least Australia's waking up now, though, to see the Broncos struggling at half time. Give me 1 second here. They are struggling. Oh, Hull KR are playing in Vegas next week too. I didn't even know. Hull KR vs Leeds. Good stuff. Yeah, 19 in New Zealand. No, it's a good time for you. Good time for you. What are the NRL preseason games we've got today? So, guys, we'll be live for both preseason games today. We're live for every game of Rugby League. But today we've got Warriors Dolphins, okay, and then Tigers Panthers. Tomorrow we have Sharks Raiders, Roosters Eagles, and Storm Titans. And then on Sunday we have Rabbitohs versus Seagulls. There we go. Tomorrow's a big day. Yeah, tomorrow's a good day. Today, Warriors Dolphins could be interesting. I think they're both probably playing full strength. Are they? I think it's the second week of the preseason, surely. Yeah, Warriors are playing not full strength. Wow, why? You just lost with a strong team to Manly. Why would you not want to get a little bit of momentum going forward here, Warriors? They don't have Tamati Martin or... They're not playing Tamati Martin or Luke Metcalf. Really? Really? Okay. Interesting. And then the Dolphins, they've got a pretty much full strength. They had a pretty much full strength team last week against the Titans, to be fair, but yeah, they've got a pretty much full strength team there. And then Tigers Panthers, is that full strength on full strength? Oh yeah, God bless you, Tigers. Oh, Tigers, God bless you. God bless you, Tigers. Yeah, they've got a full strength team in, but the Panthers are playing a full strength team themselves. Then again, it's pre-season. We'll see how much the Panthers care. Data says, Tamati Martin broken leg. Metcalf not back till round 7. Oh, shit, V Danzo, I didn't even know. Damn, round 7. Man, so that is a full-strength team then. So what, you actually got Luke Hanson and Tanner Boyd as your 6 and 7 for the start of the season, is that true? Coconut coffee is not available yet, Gary. It's so early in the morning. Well, it might be. No, it's currently Tet here in Vietnam, and Tet is like their Lunar New Year. It's their Lunar New Year, so currently nothing is like open as much as it would normally be. Lags Martin is out with that ankle in the All Stars. Remember? Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Current Mage Wigan legend was looking for the spoon. No, I don't see the Warriors looking at the spoon, but I don't think they'll be as high as they were last year. But all right, we'll just wait for the second half to get going. Michael Maguire is currently talking to the coach. Our half's already injured. Yeah, well, at least you got the greatest kicker in all of history. At least you got the greatest kicker in Tanner Boyd. At least you got Tanner Boyd, the greatest kicker of all time, has never missed a kick in his life. The only time he misses a kick is when he decides to forfeit it for the sake of, not allowing the opposition team to be as embarrassed as they normally would. I still have a bad taste in my mouth about the Tigers from the 05 Premiership. 21 years ago? Mate, surely you should feel sorry for them now, considering they've gone through 15 years of undeniable pain of not making finals and have won 3 wooden spoons in a row before last year, and then counted last year as a successful year when they came equal fourth last with the Rabbitohs with 230 odd less collective injuries than what the Rabbitohs have. Surely there's no distaste for the Tigers 21 years later when they're going through what they're going through. No, Rivington. Brisbane didn't have a warm-up game. This is the first game for the NRL team every single year. There is no pre-season. This is the pre-season for the NRL teams. Again, not using that as an excuse, but this is the first game of 2026 for the Brisbane Broncos. Why would I be annoyed Dave Feeder to move from the Titans? No Titans annoyed there. Seki says, "Why spanking the Dolphins and taking the comp?" Well, you lost to Manly last week with a much stronger roster. You got done over by Joey Walsh. I don't know about taking a comp right now. Why don't we start focusing on pre-season before we start talking about taking a comp? Cowboys have obviously been helping KR. Cowboys have obviously been helping KR out heaps, and it shows they're in partnership. Like I said before, they've been sending under 20s lads and even JT over to train and help. Sure. Antonio says, "Chuck Titans in a World Club Challenge. Watch them win it all." Mate, Titans might never lose a game ever again. We've got to be serious. They're coming out into the field right now. We've got to be serious here on the channel, mate. We don't take the piss. We don't joke around. We're serious as. We've never made a joke in our lives. The Gold Coast Titans may never lose a game again. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Eric says that disproportionate risk of being snuffed out. Come on, the Robins. Eric, you're well and truly entitled to support your team, but most of your comments are just taking the piss out of me, and you're not actually getting involved in the conversation. I can see that most of your comments are just taking the piss out of me. So if you're here to have fun and enjoy and watch the game and hear what's going on and provide your opinion, feel free, man. We're getting involved in a bit of banter. But if you're just going to take the piss out of me the entire time and try and make out like what I'm saying is just incorrect and just is stupid, well then there's just no point to having you here. So enjoy the chat, get around it and whatnot, but if you take the piss out of me on a consistent basis without actually involving yourself in the conversation, then there's just no point for you being here. Third tackle now for Hull, and they're going to be at the 30, because I haven't been disrespectful to Hull at all. I don't think that anybody can say that I've been disrespectful to Hull or the Super League and whatnot in comparison to what a lot of other Australians will be like. If you had other Australians commentating this game, they'll be shitting on you the entire time, but at the end of the day, I'll give Hull the absolute respect that they deserve, and as a penalty here to Hull in the first set of the second half at the halfway point, I will give the respect to Hull absolutely, because they are the Super League champions. I feel like the Super League is disrespected too much. I don't feel that the Super League is anywhere close to the level of the NRL on a 27-round season, but I do feel that they have a great chance of winning these exhibition matches before the season starts, which gives them a lot of confidence in regards to their league still being an absolute top-tier league. Right, so that's my opinion on it. There's no disrespect to Hull, so I don't feel like you need to be just in here shitting on me the whole time. I think Manly are a chance for the spoon this year, to be honest. A lot of people are saying this. Second tackle for Hull, and they're going to be 13 metres out here from the line. A lot of people do, though, Australia's full. That's the thing. A lot of people do. Second tackle, 8 metres away from the line. If Hull score here, I just don't know if the Broncos come back in it. Tyrone May And Lytton then gets it off, and they'll be 4 metres away from the line, third tackle. That's Petahiku. Third tackle. Out the back. Carl Lawton, so close, dude. So close. 4 tackle, 2 minutes away from the line. Off to Lytton! Lytton! Oh, he's taken down 3 metres out. Jeez, that's so close, and it's another penalty. Broncos so well disciplined, bro. Broncos so well disciplined. Oh, surely you don't go for the goal here. It's 14 points. You're up by 14 already. What's the point of going up by 16? Yeah, Paddy Carrigan comes over the top there. Comes over the top. We don't want injuries at this time of the year, hence their trials. Well, the Warriors are actually playing a full-strength team, Tahi. I didn't know that they were when I didn't see Luke Metcalf and Tamati Martin, but I didn't know that Luke Metcalf wasn't back to round 7. And I would argue with your other channel, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you, in Australia anyway. But I didn't know Metcalf was out to round 7, and I couldn't remember that Tamati Martin got injured in that All-Stars game. At the back here, Tyrone May, short ball to the line. Mikey Lewis taken down 2 metres out, third tackle. Good run, though. Good run. 99% of Australians love the Broncos. That is an absolutely dog shit take, Benjamin Cox. Stop it. Get your hand off it, son. Get your hand off it. 4th tackle now at the 10. Out to Tyrone May. 99% of Australia likes the Broncos. Get your hands off it. Out the back to Tyrone May. 10 metres away. Is he going to kick it? He's going to kick it through. And that will be a 7-tackle set coming up for the Broncos at the 20. Very close. Not quite this time for that kick, but they have been finding some good kicks in this game here today. They've been finding some really good kicks. Lytton's such a good quality NRL standard for mine. Well, Lytton's been good today. I have really liked what Jez Lytton has done for Hull. I'd like to see more than just the one game, though, but I feel like the hooker position is actually a very, very big position that he could come into right now. It's not like the NRL has an incredible amount of hookers. You've got Harry Grant, and then who's the guarantee outside of that? Outside of Harry Grant, who would you put in a similar level to Harry Grant? Because you've got Blake Brayley, who maybe comes in second currently, or are you going to go with the defensive-minded Mitch Kenny from the Panthers? Or are you going to go Reece Robson, that I feel like his stocks have fallen the last couple of years? Api Koroisau is obviously not getting any younger, and he's at the Tigers. Outside of Harry Grant, there is actually a plethora of opportunity in multiple clubs that Jez Lytton could, I guess, come into and prove to be, one of the better hookers. I feel like there's a massive opening in the hooker department in Australia right now. And right-hand side, they kick this ball through, and that's going to be an easy grab there for Hull, and they'll be taken down 3 metres away from their own line. Ben, no one likes these 2-headed freaks out in Brisbane, just to let you know, from up the bunnies. One of England's best players as well, although not saying much in the Ashes. Not saying much there. Third tackle now for Hull. They're 10 metres out. With that being said, the Ashes was overwhelmingly disappointing from both sides, man. England were just awful, but Australia weren't great. And that's why it's so surprising they won as convincingly as they did. Australia weren't good in that Ashes series. Alan, you're not going to see a live stream on YouTube, mate. Due to broadcasting restrictions, it's illegal. You'll see the highlights afterwards, but the best you're going to get is here because you're not able to watch the game on YouTube for free, no. Katapani, he'll bring this ball and give it to Reece Walsh. Reece Walsh is going to find some space here at the 20, at the 25, and will be taken down 25 metres out, first tackle. 2023 Grand Final overdue issue. The Broncos are on Madge Serum now. Yeah, getting into him, Sanka. Second tackle now with the Broncos at the 35. Now at the 50. It was a decent kick there for Mikey Lewis because it kind of took Reece Walsh out of the picture. Yes, Katapani got the ball offloaded to him, but it took Reece Walsh out of the picture for his return. Carrigan, he'll give it to Adam Reynolds. Reynolds here, he's going to find the line, he's going to kick it through, and it's going to bounce up here for the Broncos. They're going to get the ball at 20. Great little kick there from Reynolds. Wow. Reynolds with a great kick there, 15 metres out. Tony Staggs, he's going to go short side here. Tony Staggs steps. He steps again. He's still going here. He steps again. He gets the offload away. Broncos, Payne Haas, 10 metres out. Is he going to be able to run it? Gets it across Ezra Mam. Ezra Mam steps again. Ezra Mam steps again. It's 4 tackle. I thought it was 5th tackle. Oh, no, Ezra Mam. You're a clown. No, Ezra. No, Ezra. No, Ezra. I thought it was fit tackle, but it was actually four tackle, and he's kicked the ball through there in the line when the fullback was right there. There was just absolutely nothing on there for the Broncos to kick that ball through. Yeah, he just had to take the tackle there, Ezra. You just had to take the tackle. And Tanner says, other than Harry Grant and Blake Brayley, there's no elite hookers anymore. Would you say Brayley is elite, though? I wouldn't say elite. I'd say Harry Grant is elite. I'd say Brayley is on the next tier, and he's pretty clear on that next tier. But I wouldn't put Blake Brayley in the same category as Harry Grant. I would say that Harry Grant is elite, but Blake Brayley being there, I wouldn't agree with. But again, I would have him on the next one down. That will be kicked too far, and there'll be a 7-tackle set coming up for the Broncos at the 20. Robert says, the English fans are so much better than over here. Have a listen to them. No, it's great to see. You know, you love to hear it, man. English fans get behind their team. But this is a part of their culture. Their culture is all about chanting and singing and getting loud behind their teams and whatnot, whilst Australians, they much prefer to, watch it at home with a beer and a barbie with the boys. You know, they much prefer to watch it at the barbie with the boys than to go and cheer and get loud. That's why Suncorp's good, because you do get loud, but overall it's not like chanting, it's more just screaming and yelling out a couple of Broncos chants here and there. No, I will always respect and appreciate the English game with how they support their team. They love a good sing-song. Just don't let the Arsenal fans get about, because they sing about absolute dribble. Third tackle here at the 45. Ezra Mam, he steps, and there'll be 38 metres out from the line. Fourth tackle. I'd say 75% of hookers are aging as well. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that at all. And Broncos, Reece Walsh, good pass into the line. Is it going to be forward? I thought that might have been forward. I think that's a bad call from the referee. I thought that was a forward pass from Reece Walsh. And Ben Hunt with the ball. 5 minutes out, Reece Walsh. He gives the ball off. Loaded! That's a try, I think. I think he scored. Oh, no, I think he's lost it. He might have lost this here, Shibasaki. This is a big-time call. I didn't see it originally. I thought it was going to be a try, but he's called that immediately, so I will agree with him. And, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I back it. If it touches... I don't know why you haven't checked this, though. Oh, yeah, no, I couldn't call that as a try. I couldn't call that. Gary says, Arsenal fans are just the worst. You're not wrong. Laurie says, battle of the forward pass teams. Well, I think that's a bit of karma there at the end of the day, because I did think there was a forward pass. Broncos are well known for a good forward pass try. Third tackle here for Hull. They're going to be 30 minutes out from their own line. 30 minutes to go here of the game, guys. It's currently 18-4 to Hull. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. It is 18-4. We've got 2 preseason games later on today. Warriors, Dolphins, and Tigers, Panthers. If you love your rugby league, this is the place to be. Fit tackle now for Hull. They're going to be 40 minutes out. Plus, we've got the T20 World Cup. We've got an England game, I think, on Sunday. Maybe against Sri Lanka or someone. Or Zimbabwe. Good luck with Zimbabwe. They're looking good. Broncos knock on. Hull KR score. Out of nowhere. Hull KR score out of nowhere, and that, my friends, is 22-4 with a kick to come. I just don't know if the Broncos come back from this one, man. I just don't know if the Broncos are going to come back from this one. Are they? I just don't know if they're into this, man. You know, like, you see the poor decision-making from Ezra Mam. You see the poor decision making there. You see Shibasaki knocking the ball on. I don't think the Broncos come back in this game. I don't think they do. Matt on Sports TV says this is a joke. Well, now you know how Panthers fans feel, man. Reece Martin here. Another guy who's an NRL recheck. It's just crazy that they turn up here in the English Super League. It really is crazy. So that'll be a conversion. It's 24-4 here with 29 minutes to go here in the game. You're probably still half pissed. No, Robbo, like, English fans, they don't want to talk about it, but like, this is the first game for the NRL season overall for the Brisbane Broncos. They haven't played a single preseason or anything like that. Like, it's not an excuse. They should be a lot better, but with that being said, they just haven't been into this game at all. You know, it's 3 degrees. That is super cold for them. They're used to cold being 18 degrees in Brisbane. Like, it's not usually that cold in Brisbane. But I hope Olivia's having a good time regardless. They do, boy. Super League teams do really turn up against NRL teams. They always just find a way to, they want to, show the Super League isn't just this shithouse awful product. They want to be able to come out and say, we are professional players and we are good enough to go toe to toe with you. 27 round season, I don't think they do, but in an exhibition match like this, I think absolutely they always have a chance to get the job done, and they do more often than not. So no, it's great to see from an English perspective. It is. It's great to see, and the Broncos, they just haven't been up to this game at all. And then we get people commenting in the chat saying, "Oh, they're tackling it for their lives depend on it." So how can you say they're not playing up to it or they're not ready for it? Are we watching the same game? It's very clear the Broncos haven't been up to this. Very clear. I've said it once, I'll say it again. North Queensland Cowboys have turned Hull into beasts. Well, the Cowboys aren't beasts, though. The Cowboys are all for the moment. So how have the Cowboys made the Hull KR into beasts? Gary says, well, I was born... They should start focusing on their own club then, if that's the case, if they're focusing all their attention on Hull KR. Gary says, well, I was born 50 yards from the old den and spent my first 17 years was going to the den. Well, there you go. So second tackle now for the Broncos at the 25. This is looking very similar to a scoreline from a certain grand final a couple of years. Not the same scoreline, but looking very similar. Also, plenty of eyes on these players to get a chance back to the NRL when you have a game like this. That's a good point as well. Yeah. Well, like we're talking about here, the hooker role is well open in the NRL. Well open. Oh, don't start on blaming the referee here, Matt, on Sport TV. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself, bro. Don't do it to yourself. The Broncos haven't been up to this game. You can't blame the referee. At the end of the day, you haven't had a forward pass when you should have had it a couple of times. I do believe you should have had a 20-40. I do believe that. I did think that I saw that ball touch for the second try that a lot of Broncos fans are claiming was held up. I disagree. I think that it was... I think I saw the ball hit the line, but I'd love to see the replay again. Hull will get this ball through Peter Hickey at the 5, and it's going to be now 10 minutes out, first tackle. I think that people need to really come to terms with, if your team is losing, it does not mean that you are being robbed. It does not mean that the referee is the reason that your team sucks. And your Broncos don't suck. They won the premiership last year. But in this game, unfortunately, they have sucked. That is not because of Landmore. It's because the Broncos haven't been ready for this game. They're not up for this game. Hull have a lot more to prove, and currently Hull are doing it in. But let's not fall down into every single time a team loses, it is not the referee's problem. I do not like Liam Moore as a referee. I think that he was awful on the Ashes, and I think that I've seen so many times, that's good kick, 40-20. 40-20 here for Hull. It's not the referee's fault they're kicking 40-20 there. It's not the referee's fault that Hull are dominating the pitch right now against the Broncos. It is the Broncos' problem. It is the problem. It is the Broncos' problem. Laurie says, at least the game not focused on the ref or the bunker. Well, it is from Broncos fans' perspective. They can't seem to understand. They can't seem to think about the fact that maybe their team just isn't good enough today. I don't know what it is, but apparently Broncos fans, it's impossible for them to actually take accountability for their performance here. It's not Liam Moore's fault that you are not looking good in this game. Police says NRL is low class, English Super League is more classic. Yeah, you don't watch enough rugby league to have an understanding of what you're talking about. Third tackle now, 5 minutes out here from the line. Hull get this ball to the 3, and it's 4 tackle now. 4 tackle, 3 metres out from the line. 10 metres away. It just really grinds your gears, bro, when people just only blame referees. It's like it's always the referee's fault my team sucks. It's not the fact that we just haven't been good today. 10 metres away from the line. Fit tackle. If they score here, you don't see the Broncos coming back at all. They kick this ball through. Oh, look at them. They're not even up to this at all. They might get slapped here. The Brisbane Broncos. 28 forward, a kick to come. They look horrific. Are we blaming the referee for that? Are you blaming the referee for that? Come on. Be real. That is not good enough defence there from the Broncos. They have been done on the kicks so much today with those little grubbers. They have been done so many times today from that very reason. It's not the referee's fault that you're not up to the task today. Micah says the Broncos have been into the Guinness since they touched down. Tyrone May, the rat bag, carving them up. Dude, they're being carved up. They're not up to the game. They're not up for it, mate. They're not. Robert says this is a tough watch and I hate the Bronx. Like I said, a lot of Australians, this is a win-win because a lot of people don't like the Broncos, so they're laughing at the Broncos right now. But if Broncos had won, they're like, oh well, Australian team won, whatever. You know, so there's a win-win scenario for Australian fans. Broncos are playing piss weak. They're not playing good enough. They're not. Xavier Coates missed 3 months. Really entertaining us. Wow, that's huge. That is huge. Tay says World Cup year, that's where it counts. Well, England are going to need to be a lot better than what they saw in that Ashes series. They're going to need to be a lot better than what we saw there. And the Broncos are going to take a short kick-off, and it will be Hull ball 38. Gareth's 350-plus watching, guys. Hit the thumbs up button. Exactly right. First tackle. Second tackle now for Hull. Out to 45. Broncos looked at this as a holiday vacation, not a footy game. I don't think they did, though, Nathan. I'm going to defend the English Super League here. I don't think they did. They came out and kept saying how much they cared about the Super League, how they wanted to bring pride back into the World Club Challenge. That the Broncos were trying to prove a point that the World Club Challenge isn't a glorified preseason game from an Australian perspective. And they were coming out publicly saying this. I just want to remind English fans, this Broncos team was defending you. They were saying that they wanted to come here and they wanted to actually, put in an effort. It hasn't looked like it today, but at the end of the day, this is what they were saying. So you shouldn't really hate on the Broncos. From an Australian perspective, we don't give a shit. But from an English perspective, you should actually back in that they were giving you the respect that you deserved before the game started. However, in the game, it hasn't looked like they've given you the respect that you've deserved. But with that being said, they just haven't been good enough, and Hull have been way truly better than what this Brisbane Broncos schmozzle has been. This is how the Broncos played in the first half of last year. This is a Broncos team that we saw before they hit their red-hot patch of form in the second half of the year. Watching from Papua New Guinea, get around your willy. We appreciate you, bro. Benjamin says, I can imagine how packed the Brisbane airport is going to be to welcome back the Broncos. Yeah, no, it's going to be absolutely packed, mate. It's going to be well and truly packed, full of absolutely nobody. Boys says, wow, this is a domination. This is embarrassing, and no one to blame but themselves. And also, the crowd is like something the NRL hasn't seen before. No, the English crowd will always beat out Australian crowds. Always. 20 minutes to go here in the game, guys. Hit that like button and subscribe. It's 30-4 to Hull. And the Broncos not looking Gucci. Not looking Gucci. And Tanner says, wait, does that mean Lomax will win in court rather than someone like Moses Leo getting a call up? Lomax won't win in court, bro. There's too much against him. 4 tackle now. 4 tackle. Boys had too many nose fears, Vasan said. Well, I'm not going to argue it. 5th tackle. 4th tackle. Whereabouts is Hull geographically? That's like north up near Money. Money, yeah? Manchester and Money. It's up nearish there. No? Where is Hull geographically? Do you think Bronx go back to back? You fucking serious? Francis, you're asking me if I think the Bronx go back to back, as they've got 30-4 put past them by Hull KR right now, who just lost to York? You think I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say that I reckon the Broncos are going to go back to back right now with what I'm watching? Maybe I'm not going to use this as a point of reference really for the season overall, because I know the Broncos are a team that can do well this year. But are you seriously thinking that I'm going to sit here and say the Broncos are going to win the premiership this year when I'm watching this scoreline right now? Is it half time? Not half time, Diamond. Oh, Broncos are away here. Broncos are away here. Broncos are away here. Broncos are away. They will score under the posts. Paddy Carrigan will score. He doesn't score much at all. But it is 30-8 with a kick to come. It's about to be 30-10. Nate said, it's not defensive Broncos' poor performance. I just don't understand how they can play this poor as defending premiers. Broncos fans should be embarrassed by this. They should be, yeah. They should be. Well, they have to be quick here, the Broncos. They will score through Paddy Carrigan. It's a 22-point game. It's about to be a 20-point game. It's a nice try. They score from long distance. 45 metres out. They break through. And off to Paddy Carrigan, who scores. And he doesn't score much in NRL. Tasman says, where's the comeback kings? Well, this is normally where they would turn into their comeback kings. And they've just scored a try. But I don't think they come back in this game. There you go. 30-10. With 18 minutes to go here in the game. Northeast England, bro. East Coast, New York. Oh, there you go. Other money says Australia must be so happy the Broncos are losing. It's 50-50, mate. It's 50-50. They would like to see Australian teams put a bit more of an effort into these games, but it's not like they would be upset. They wouldn't be upset, is what I would say for the most part in regards to NRL fans. Like, you've got Daz, mate, who's a Bulldogs fan, coming in just laughing. You've got Slapper taking a piss out of him. You've got everyone here who's Australian in the chat. Just they're actually kind of enjoying this game right now, unless they're a Broncos fan. Obviously, you wouldn't be enjoying it then. But 20 points, 18 minutes. It would be the most epic comeback. It would be so epic, but I don't think it happens. Now, Bronx represents us NRL supporters. Did you say that, though, when the Panthers were playing? A lot of people didn't. Broncos at the back. They get the ball away. They're away here. At the 40. They're at the 50. They're at the 45. They're going to score again. They're going to score again here. They're going to score again. They are going to score again. Oh, my gosh. The Broncos are... No, there's no way, dude. You couldn't tell me. The Broncos are coming back. There's no way. 30-14 with a kick to come. There's no way. No, there's no way. There's no way. I don't believe it. There's no way. I don't believe it. This is what they did last year, bro. This is what they did all last year in the NRL. This is what they did all year in the NRL last year. They're actually Dean Mariner. That's a great play with a nice little dummy as well. That's a great play. And the Broncos, they've made it 30-14 with a kick to come here. And then it'll be a 14-point game if they get it. And there's still 17.5 minutes to go here. Watch out, Hull. This is what they did, bro. This is what they did last year. Surely not, though. Surely you've set up too big of a lead here. Surely. And it is 30-16. They get the kick. 16.5 minutes to go here of the game. 30-16. Oh, it's only 2 hours. Oh, yeah. Hull is close. Oh, yeah, but your country is way smaller than ours. Hull to 2 hours is nothing. They are close to each other. Hull and Manchester are close enough to each other. I know it's way different to you guys, but like 2 hours is nothing to us. That's like that's like Brisbane and Noosa kind of deal. It's like Brisbane and Noosa. If they come back, I'll change my name to Bronx, mate, for the first month of this season. Daz, listen, you've done this before, and you've had your name as Storm, mate, for the final series when the Bulldogs lost the Storm. So I don't know if you making these kind of bets is up your alley, mate. But the Broncos will get this ball, and they're going to bring this ball to the 15 on first tackle. 16 minutes to go here of the game. They've scored 2 quick tries to bring themselves back into a sniff of the game. And now they'll get this ball to the 25. Every single Australian who watches Rugby League watching this game knows that I really hope Hull don't believe they've already won this game, eh? And that's probably... It's going to probably be a Broncos knock-on here. Yeah, they're going to say knock-on against Hull here, so it's Broncos ball. I'm just saying, Hull, please don't think this game is over. I do think you're going to win this game, but just don't think this game is over. We've seen this way too many times with Brisbane last year. Robbo says, how many times has the Broncos done this, though? That's exactly right. Canberra, Melbourne, Penrith, Dolphins, literally everybody. The only team that they... Oh, and the Bulldogs is another team they did it against, but that was during Origin. With that being said, Broncos put a score through the Bulldogs in an early part of the year when the Bulldogs were undefeated at the time. Yeah, 2 hours is a crazy road trip to people over here. I explained I drive over an hour in Perth to get to an ECU. Oh, dude. Yeah, you drive from Brisbane to Gold Coast in an hour. That's nothing. 2 hours is also nothing. Last year when I went for a Titans, or a couple of years ago, I went, Reece Walsh over the top. Is that going to go? That's a knock-on from Hull. It's a 6 again here for the Broncos. They're 40 metres out from the line. I drove up and back to Newcastle, which is, a decent trip. That's like 7.5, 8 hours from the Gold Coast. Multiple times for the Titans games. 7.5, 8 hours. That's just Gold Coast, Newcastle. 0 tackle here for the Broncos. 25 metres out. They're making a game of this, man. They score here. This game's rocketing on. This game is well on if they can score here. 18 metres out. Could be a moral victory for other side. Yeah, the English know all about that, don't they? Third tackle now, 8 metres away from the line. Third tackle. If Brisbane score here, they've scored. Oh my gosh, they're coming back, Hull. Oh, Hull, they're coming back. They're doing it. They're doing it again, Hull. Hull, they're doing it again. Broncos are coming back. Oh my gosh, this is giving PTSD nightmares for all the non-Broncos fans in the chat. Daz, mate, get ready to change your name to Bronx, mate, because it's 30-20 with the kit to come here. The Broncos are coming back. The Broncos are actually coming back here. This is insane. 14 minutes to go. It's going to be less than a 2-score game with 14 minutes to go. Tell me that they can't win it. Tell me that they can't win it. This is what they do. This is what they do. You've seen it so many times before, bro. Rowan says, you flog, how does this feel? What? Wait, you think like I'm upset right now? I wanted to see... Oh, he's missed the kick. Wait, why are you upset with me here, Rohan? I'm enjoying this game. I'm loving this game. Whoever wins, like, it's great stuff. What have I done? What have I done? I'm loving this. I'd love to see the Bronx come back here because it'll make an exciting game. Already it's an exciting game. At the end of the day, the criticism from the first half and the criticism from the game so far is absolutely valid. It doesn't change the fact that I also said that this is what the Broncos do. If the Broncos win this, and this is incredible, I really don't know how a team could just turn up in the last 15, 20 minutes and this isn't a fluke as well. They have been doing this since last year. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. I don't know why Rowan's crying in the chat, Andrew. I have no idea. So 13 minutes to go here at the game. Bronx well and truly back into this game. And Katapati gives it off to... Rowan. He sounds like a salty little bitch for some odd reason. Don't know why. So first tackle at the 15. Now second tackle at the 20. Tries the second half. 2 Hull. 3 Broncos. There's still 13 minutes left here. Bit of a drive-by from Rowan. Stags at the ball. He's at the 40, the 45. Those missed kicks are going to hurt them. Yeah, maybe. But, boy, I'm telling you, they can score both these tries. And Broncos are nearly through the line. They're 45 metres away from the line for tackle. 40 metres out. Quick play the ball. Walsh. And 23 metres out, fit tackle. 12 and a half minutes left here. 12 and a half minutes left. Ezra Mam. He will get a short ball away. It's fit tackle. What are they doing? No way is that... Oh, he's lost the ball. But I didn't even think that he should have been able to get up there just then. That should have been a penalty, in my opinion. Xavier Willison needed to get that offload away. Xavier Willison looks super different as well. Have the Broncos all just gone to the barbers or something? Broncos, Roosters, Bulldogs, Storm. Oh, Bunnies, you're going to get timed out. There is only one S in Storm, champion. There's only one S in Storm. 11 minutes 50. You should know this rule on the channel by now. We'll see in 5 minutes. Oh boy, you made a mistake there. So second tackle out the 25. Shows Fulce's Panthers couldn't do it. Panthers aren't the same team known for what this Broncos team does in the second halves. 11 and a half minutes to go of the game. Third tackle. It says you timed it because you're a South fan as well. Fourth tackle now. Fourth tackle. Now at the 45. At the 50. Tyrone May. Jeez, this whole game has just shifted. Can you hold out here, Hull? Comment in the chat, guys. Who do you think wins from here? Is it going to be? It's a knock-on from Hull. No way. No way. Tyrone May has lost the ball halfway point. You can't be giving these opportunities. You cannot be giving these opportunities to this Brisbane Broncos team. Comment in the chat who you think wins. Is it going to be Hull or is it going to be Broncos? Let us know. Wow, his shirt's completely come off there. What's this fabric? What is this jersey made of? It's been completely ripped. Completely ripped. Completely ripped. The whole shirt's come off. The whole jersey's come off there. Everything. 10 points the difference. Broncos will be at the halfway point with a completely fresh set of 6 here. This would be an insane comeback if they did it. Tony Staggs gets away from one tackle, and he'll be taken down to the halfway point. It's a penalty. Oh, no. Oh, no, Hull. I think I just saw Olivia on TV just then. I'm pretty certain I just saw Olivia in the broadcast. Maybe he's a bung Val in regards to that. I'll insult myself. Broncos here, 15 metres out from the line. First tackle, 10 minutes to go here in the game, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. Cover every single game Rugby League here on the channel. We've got 2 preseason NRL games on tonight. Broncos a second tackle. They're 8 metres away here from the line. 8 metres away, 10 minutes to go. They need to score, and that's a 1-score game. Broncos moving. Shibasaki, he went through, but they'll be taken down 10 metres out from the line. Third tackle, Ezra Mam. Ben Hunt out to Paddy Carrigan. Carrigan now to Payne Haas. Haas, great offload. Amazing offload. Broncos! Half a metre out from the line. Fourth tackle. Oh my gosh, they're so close. Held up, tackle 4 at the 10. Yeah, my pixelate tar here, it's on because I'm on a VPN. It's not usually like this. I don't usually have to use a VPN for our Rugby League games. It's just that WatchNRL.com doesn't have this game on, so I have to use a VPN today. Fifth tackle now for the Broncos. They're 4 metres out, 9.5 minutes to go here in the game. Hold out, Hull. Can you hold out? Ben Hunt out of bad. They go quickly. That's 4. That's a typical Reece Walsh moment, bro. That is a typical Reece Walsh moment. He's throwing the ball to Tanzania in the crowd. He's thrown that long ball all the way to the Antarctican Penguins. Reggie Rocks says the Broncos getting cooked. They're not getting cooked as much as they were. They were down 30-4, mate. The Broncos were down 30-4, and now it's 30-20 with 9 minutes to go. They have thrown the ball over the sideline, but good defense there from Hull to keep them out. Who's number 16 for Brisbane? He's been decent this game. Number 16 for Brisbane, that is Ben Talty. Yeah, Ben Talty's not really known. He's known as one of their weakest links at the Broncos, but it's not like he's a bad player. It's just not the X-Factor player you're looking at from a Payne Haas or a Xavier Willison kind of deal when you come into those front row forwards. Corey Jensen is very much the same, but Ben Talty's even behind him. Talty had a pretty good year last year, but then got dropped late on in the year. Third tackle for Hull. At their own, about 25 or so? As long as you guys can still hear me, that's the main thing. If the screen pixelates, it'll fix itself at some point. But for the time being, as long as you can hear me, that's the main thing. These games should be made mid-season, not during NRL pre-season, no fitness. I agree with you, Reggie, but it's never going to happen. Fifth tackle at the 45. Hull, you're going to have to get a good kick away here. Every single one of those players on the right side were well offside. But that'll be Dean Mariner who picks this ball up at the 5. He had a great year last year, Dean. He gets away from 1 tackle and he'll bring this ball out to the 10. First tackle, 8 minutes to go here in the game. The cricket stream watchers know how much Blaze loves the VPN. Love it. Love the old VPN. Broncos at the 13. This is good defense here from Hull. Keep them down here. Don't give away a penalty. Oh my gosh, that was a really risky pass, but they're away here. The Broncos are away. The Broncos at the 20. Gets the offload away. Ezra Mam at the 30. He'll get the... Oh, he couldn't get the offload away. Reece Walsh was coming barging through, but he couldn't get the offload to him. Broncos are at the 45 on 4 tackles. 7.5 minutes to go here in the game. Great game here, but... Great game. Broncos just always turn up right at the death. Ezra Mam at the 40. Haven't really rated Ezra Mam a great deal today. Go out to the left, short side. He puts that ball up into the air. The chase through is nice, but Hull will take him down to 5. 7 minutes to go here. They still need to score twice. Tamati says, Walsh still got something up his sleeve. Absolutely possible. We know what Reece Walsh can do, mate. But also, he's that kind of player. Look at the game against the Cowboys late on in the year last year. Very controversial game, but he can be incredible, but he can also be awful. Like, he has the two sides. There's no in-between with Reece Walsh. He doesn't just plod along. He's either the best player you've ever seen or the worst player you've ever seen. There's no in-between. Fifth tackle here for Hull. They're at the 25. 6.5 minutes to go here in the game. Yeah, wait in the chat for me to commentate it. Don't spoil anything, otherwise you will be timed out. The Broncos, Dean Mariner, he's going to bring this ball here to the 30. Battlefield guys, Knights would have done better. Yeah, send the Knights to the Titans over, mate. We'd put it on a better performance, wouldn't we? First tackle here for the Bronx. Now second tackle at the 35. 6 minutes to go here in the game. You need to score twice here, Brisbane. You need to score twice. Are they saying lolly legs in the crowd? Why? What are they chanting? Are they chanting lolly legs? No one's kicking. Third tackle. Oh, it's gone back. Broncos, they had that electric moment, but it's like if Hull have been able to drain that energy out of the Broncos in this last 5 minutes since they scored those 3 quick tries. 50 metres out now at the 40 on fit tackle. Payne Haas, 5.5 to go. You need a bit of a miracle now, Broncos, but we know it can happen. They kick the ball, little dink over the top. Where's the bounce? Where's the bounce? Where's the bounce? Where's the bounce? Oh my gosh, Shibasaki. It bounced into his hands, but he couldn't bring the ball together. He could not bring the ball in. It's going to be Hull ball the 20 with a 7 tackle set, but that was so close. Shibasaki on the chase. He just couldn't bring that ball in. Oh my goodness me. 5 minutes and 5 seconds to go here of the game. Yeah, he had 4 plays at that Shibasaki. Yikes. Okay, Hull. No, if he catches that ball, it's a 100% a try, but obviously he wasn't able to get it. First tackle now for Hull, and it's a penalty. I don't know if you're going to need a big turnaround now, Broncos. There's only 4 minutes for you to go. You still need to score twice. Those missed kicks, those 2 missed conversions, right now the death of you, because you'd only be down by 1 converted try. You'd have a full 4.5 minutes here, but you're down by 2 scores because of those missed kicks. Boys, that was their moment there. I don't think they can do anymore, even how good they are. Let's just... Oh, they didn't kick it out in the full. It's Broncos ball. Hull didn't kick the ball out for the penalty, and now it's Broncos ball at the 40. Oh, that's the worst thing you could have done. Literally, you couldn't have asked for a worse thing. What are you doing, Hull? What are you doing? Broncos they've been given life. They've been given life. They've been given life. They're down the line. They're down. They're at the 30. Shibasaki, he offloads the ball. Oh my gosh, they're actually 35 metres out. I can't believe you just gave the game back to the Broncos, Hull. They were done. They were done. 25 metres out here from the line. Oh my gosh. And then KO's going to shut down. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Broncos down by 10 points. I have to get my KO back up because it's just closed down. There is 4 minutes left here. Just 4 minutes left. Can the Broncos get over the line? Comment in the chat what you think is going to happen here. Comment in the chat. Wow, the heart's beating a million miles an hour at the moment. It is super close here in Hull as we speak. I'm just getting my KO back up because of course, it closes down right on the crucial point here. Right on the crucial point. Yeah, no, we English in the chat, please, brother. English in the chat, please, mate. Hull Cows lucky Warrior Hargraves not playing that 6 penalty right there. Oh my gosh, they've scored. The Broncos have scored. The Broncos have scored, guys. It's a 6-point game. The Broncos have gone and scored a try. They're actually coming back. They're actually coming back here. Oh my gosh. The Broncos are actually coming back. It's a try time for Katoni Staggs, who's not had a good game, but they are actually coming back. What a game here we have got. Good to see the Broncos showing some absolute fight when they were down 30-4. Is there extra... Surely there's extra time in this. There is, right? There is extra time in the World Club Challenge, yeah? Surely there is. Surely there is, right? I just remember obviously the All-Stars game between the Indigenous and Māori didn't have extra time. Surely there would be. This is great regardless of the winner. Absolutely, JK. Absolutely. They left it too late. Not necessarily, Stephen. There's still 3 minutes to go here. That's plenty of time in rugby league, Stephen. Plenty of time. Adam Reynolds here from the sideline. He will miss the kick. Oh my gosh. We actually may go to extra time. Golden point. Seb Watson. If they score a converted try, when have we ever seen a golden pointer? Have we ever seen a golden pointer in World Club Challenge? Steve's Broncos losing. Well, they were down 30-4, Steve. In the last 20 minutes, they've scored 20 unanswered points. Sorry, in the last 17 minutes, they've scored 20 unanswered points. But this is what they do, dude. This is what they do. They lead you into a false sense of security and then go bang, 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 bang. That's what they do, bro. Oh, it was a golden point. Saints versus Penrith. Okay, beautiful. But they've got 2 minutes 52 here. They're down by 6 points. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here. Payne Haas, he'll get this ball to the 20 on his own side of the field. Cowboys first leads in 2014. There you go. Get a better kicker. He's horrendous. Well, Adam Reynolds, yeah, he used to be very, very good. He's not as good as he he's not as good as he is now. As he used to be. Sorry. Broncos now at the 30, at the 40. 45 metres out now, 50 metres out, third tackle. You'll probably get another set here, Broncos, but you don't want to have to rely upon it. Ben Hunt, they go to Payne Haas, and Haas is going to be about 46 metres out from the line, fourth tackle. You need a bit of Reece Welsh magic here. You need a bit of Reece Welsh miracle. And they go at the back. Reece Welsh. He gets... Oh, the offload was there too. The offload was there. That would have been a try. They go short side. No, they then go back to the open side. This is closed down. Nothing really going on here. Paddy Carrigan throws the ball at the back. It's still Broncos' ball. They're throwing the ball across here. It's underneath. 20 metres out. Ezra Mam kicks the ball through. That's going to go dead. 7 tackle set here for Hull. You've got to be quick here in regards to the Broncos. Hull, if I'm you, just soak up as much time as you possibly can right now. Ezra Mam has not been good today. At all. If I'm Hull, I'd take as long as I possibly can. Yeah, Ezra's been shit today, Seb Watson. He's not been great, but then again, not many people are going to back him in for a good game after what happened with him last year. So a minute 23 to go here. Can they hold out? First, a 0 tackle for Hull at the 30. That was a perfect end to that set there for Hull's perspective, because they get a whole 7 tackle set. The Broncos are just going to have to throw the ball around like absolutely crazy. A minute 7 to go here. It's only first tackle. Hull, they're going to get this ball to the 42. 42 metres out from their own line. Second tackle. 57 seconds to go here of the game. Yeah, those kicks have hurt him, boy. They have hurt him. Otherwise, if they had got their kicks, it would be 30-30 right now. Third tackle. And Minchella, 43 seconds to go. They're just going to have to throw the ball around. They're not going to get any set. They're going to have to just throw the ball around here. Fourth tackle. He still hasn't played the ball. And Hull taken down. Would you go for a field goal here? You may as well. Go for a field goal. 30 seconds. And they're going to go short side. They're going to put that ball up the top. If they score here, it's over. Broncos will get the ball. Reece Welsh, he's away here. He's at the 15. Reece Welsh runs out of the left-hand side. He's still going here. He flicks the ball over the top. The Broncos, will they drop that ball? Is that a knock-on? It's a knock-on. It's a knock-on. Hull win. Hull win the World Club Challenge. Get around them. Get around the Robins, son. They will get over the line. My gosh, that was terrifying, though. No combo, no win. Are you serious here? Are you serious? No combo, no win. The Broncos will lose 30-24. They were down 30-4 with 20 minutes to go. Came back to make it an absolute heart stopper there. But wowee, what a game we've just witnessed. Techie Ninja says, wait, next year they'll be washed. Who are you referring to here? Nicotine, Hull at Rovers. Hull are the shit team. What? Stephen said it's so annoying they started to play so late. Yeah, they left it too late, mate. They just, with their kicks. Where's that Rowan bloke now? All jokes aside, what even happened to Billy Walters? Any news about him? I'm actually not too sure in regards to Billy Walters. Like, obviously he got injured. They've got Ben Hunt and Corey Pakes there, and now Billy Walters might just be on the back burner due to his injury, maybe. I don't know. I actually don't know where Billy Walters has gone. JC says Liam Moore should not be allowed to ref for Rovers. This game today was lost by the Brisbane Broncos. It was not won by Liam Moore. Liam Moore did not win this game for Hull. Hull deserved to win this game. They were the clear better team for 60 minutes this game, and the Broncos were the clear better team for the final 20 minutes of this game. But the Broncos, as they always do, this is exactly what they do last year. Every game. They let the game get away from them, and then they come back into it. And in the NRL, they were able to do it at the prime time point of the season, 27 rounds in, first week of the finals against Canberra for their 28th week, after a pre-season as well, mind you. For their 28th week, or technically their 31st week of the season, they go and come back against the Raiders. And then their 33rd week or whatever it is of the season, 32nd week of the season, they go and do it against the Panthers. And then the grand final, when they're prime and ready to rock and roll, they go and do it against the Storm. This is the first game of rugby league for this Brisbane Broncos team this year. That comeback just then should show you they're a very similar team to what they were last year. They're just not rolling yet. So if you are a fan of the NRL and you're a fan of another team, This Broncos team is actually just, and I know you're going to sit there and you're going to shit in the Broncos and you're going to say it's poor, they lost the Hull, whatever you want to say. That right there should actually freak you out a little bit because it shows you they are the same team as they were last year. You just need, at the red hot point of the season, at the big points of the year, you need to be ready for that final 20. You need to be ready for that second half because the second half and that final 20, they're going to come at you left, right, and centre. They're going to come at you red hot, and they would have played some rugby league by that point. This was their first game, and they've actually put on a good show for the final 20. Reddy says, games are silly, make mid-season when both teams are fit and ready, then let's see. I agree, but don't deep the context of an exhibition match. At the end of the day, let the English be proud of themselves. Obviously, they lost in the Ashes 3-0 in England, but, let them be proud of themselves. The Super League isn't as bad as people make it out, but it's also not a consistent league where they're going to see the top teams in the top 8 of the NRL. It's not going to happen. But when it comes to this match in the pre-season where you do see both these teams have a crack at each other, it's good to see them really turn up for the game. I don't think they can handle the long-term physicality and the long-term speed and energy that the NRL does bring on a 27-game season. But when it comes to these kind of matches, they're able to play up to it. And it's great to see, and I love to see it from England. I do. Gary says, cheers, Blaze. Stay safe, everyone. I'm off to bed. Sleep well. You're off to bed? Yeah, no, me too. It's 4:30 a.m. here in Wood. 4:30 a.m. Harry says they should have this in Australia. Well, Panthers played in Australia and lost 13-12 to St. Helens. Reynolds sold, the most uninterested I've seen Brisbane. And that's why it's funny because they did say before the game how much they were going to care about it. But they didn't seem to care until the second half, which I don't agree with. I don't like, but it didn't look like they were caring too much until it looked like it was going to be embarrassing for them, and then they had to turn it up a bit. Now, match the score outcome of the Broncos had some experienced games. Had some experienced games before this match. Correct. I don't disagree with you, mate. This is the first game of rugby league for this club every single year. Whoever plays in the World Club Challenge is the first game. But the Roosters do it. The Roosters, have they ever lost? Have the Roosters ever lost a World Club Challenge? Have they? Eric, I'm probably just going to get rid of you from the channel, mate. You're not actually adding anything into it. You say Hull is not Hull KR. This is Hull KR. This is the Kingston Rovers who have played today. It's Hull KR versus the Broncos. So, Eric, unfortunately, I'm just going to hide you from the channel, bro. You've added absolutely nothing to this chat whatsoever, and you've just taken the piss the entire time. So, unfortunately, man, we just don't need you part of the channel. 9:28 p.m. here in Hull. I'm shouted as well. Yeah, look, valid, JK. But, guys, we are going to jump off. Later on today, we have 2 NRL pre-season games. Which is the Warriors and the Dolphins and the Tigers and the Panthers. Basically full strength for all 4 of those teams in the preseason. So that's going to be interesting. So that's, what time is it? 6 p.m. New South Wales and 8:10 p.m. New South Wales for both those games. 6 p.m. is when Warriors-Dolphins game is on. Queensland will be 5 p.m. Warriors-Dolphins game will be on. And then Tigers-Panthers will be on at 8:10 p.m. New South Wales, 7:10 p.m. Queensland. If you're in New Zealand, obviously add a couple of hours onto that. But we will be live for both of those games. You guys know that I am going to be live for every single game of Rugby League this year. So if you love your Rugby League, I am going to be here cracking on and enjoying. And that was a great game to start us off here for the season. But hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Appreciate you for tuning in. Well done, Hull. Well and truly deserved winners. And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.